morning, people. It is Wednesday, the 7th of December. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And as always, it's a lit line. I'm going to need Brent to zoom in.
All right. Okay.
Please, okay? I need y'all to see this foolishness with me. So, how are you today, Marks? Good morning. Not yet? Oh, do you set it up?
No.
Oh, okay. It's empty seats. All right, guys. It's empty seats. It's empty seats in the space of Marks. Empty seats in the space of Yusuf.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have two lit people today. Do you know what? This is Nigerian energy.
This is it.
Thank you, Brent.
This is it.
So there's Marks. There's Yusuf.
Yep.
I didn't turn the camera on, but never mind.
That is it.
He ain't here.
He ain't here, okay? Neither of them are. So it's the takeover of the Nigerians today.
That's right.
But let's introduce ourselves. I am your favorite shade queen, my own royalty, which is actually the second best royalty after being God's royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
Thank you, thank you. I feel like Brent should have done an intro. Honorary. Brent, do you want to have an intro?
I want to make up one.
Oh, go on.
No.
Oh, is it not today?
Not in the moment. I ain't like you.
Okay, a special episode. Brent will definitely have an intro. But how are you doing?
I'm all right, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You a bit disappointed in your boys?
Nah, not really, you know.
Why not?
You gotta let them live, you know. It's different for men and women, so. I'm sorry.
You're nuts. Damn, we just started. Do you know what's so crazy? What you said didn't even make sense. I said it's different for men and women. This time the woman is here.
That's what I'm saying. We depend on you, the black woman.
Yeah, dear.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a bit
Without
too
the black
much.
women, we are finished.
That's a word. Y'all are weaker without us.
I'm not. There's facts.
That is facts.
It's
Thank you. Do you know what's actually? I was thinking this morning when I put my hat on. I hope when we get into accessories, I need a beanie and a bucket hat that's got hashtag facts on it. If that isn't merch, I don't know why we're doing anything.
For real, Brent.
So I hope you and Brent. I hope you guys are hearing right. I think a black beanie with hashtag facts on is sick, and then a new black logo or something.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
I said critical thinking.
No, that triggers me. That's it. That gives me the shakes. Do you know what? Yeah, you know how like when people get married and stuff, and it's like, obviously your partner, you live together, blah blah, but it's like there might be some one little thing that takes you over the edge one day. I might call a divorce if this man ever says that. Critical thinking. He's gonna draw up some emotions. And he's not going to understand it. They'll be like, why are you? It's not that deep. And I'll be like, no, we're done. It is crazy, man. But big up Marks, big up No Behaviour. Had a personal show yesterday. Not personal, intimate show yesterday.
That's it.
How was it, Brent?
It was good.
Good. That's good. That's good.
Yes, it was good. And then the place was full of Margs and
Achilles.
Loons, compatriots. Yeah, like-minded individuals.
Not like-minded.
But they're very, 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 very supportive and they're good vibes, to be honest.
That's good, man. That's good, man.
Like they could tell each other to shut up and just laugh about it.
That'd be calm.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's how it should be, man.
No, you shouldn't.
No, but that's how
Do you know
I
actually?
think men should
Yeah,
be.
yeah. Okay.
Because then we're not emotional. You know what I'm saying? Laugh about
Oh,
things,
you definitely are emotional. We are emotional.
Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say. Not soft. You know what I'm saying? Someone told you to crying and want to fight people.
You are perfect for this topic of the day-to-day because you're ridiculous.
And there was bare liquor there, so one would
Okay.
have thought if they were inebriated, then
It can
things
go
might-
left.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Aw.
saying.
I love that, man. Do you know, I'll be honest here. Where did I go the other day? Oh, yeah, Sid's birthday. I love seeing black men just having fun.
That's what I'm
Black
saying.
man joy is actually proper lit. So obviously, some people take it overboard, where it's a thin line between black men joy and the ick. I can't explain it, but when I see it, I know. But I just love seeing black men just being happy and just being in their space and just forgetting all the pressures of the world and the facade they have to put on out there for other communities and stuff like that. It's sick, man. It's lovely. But yeah,
And it breaks the stereotype of, when there's so many black men fights,
I hate
there's
that
this,
thing.
that, and a third. See what I'm saying?
That was definitely a real thing because I believed that for the longest time.
But it's changed. Imagine,
It's
even where
changed.
there's no behavior, there's behavior.
Look, Look at that. I'm not even trying to be the producer. Look at that. But no, man, big up Marks, big up Loons, big up Beanos. I'll meet you one day, Beanos. But all right, should we get into the show?
Let's do it.
Let's get to our first headline.
Lauren was there.
Oh, big up Lauren.
Yeah, I'm still in bed due to the free bar at the No Behavior show.
Well, you know what? So it's Yusuf and Marks. I thought that was someone to do you.
That's exactly what I thought.
Sit down. I said the names too many times. They appeared. Yeah.
All right. So according to projections, the Democrats have cemented their control of the U.S. Senate by winning a bitterly fought seat in Georgia. Raphael Warnock fended off Republican challenger Herschel Walker in a race that had been left undecided after last month's midterms elections. President Joe Biden's party now holds the upper chamber of Congress by 51-49. The result caps a disappointing round of midterm election results for the Republicans. The party underperformed expectations last month by winning only a slender majority in the U.S. House of Representatives, the Congress lower chamber. Mr. Walker, who's an American football legend and political newcomer, joins a string of defeated candidates endorsed by former President Donald Trump, who is currently seeking the Republican White House nomination again in 2024. Georgia's contest had to be settled by a runoff vote because no candidate passed 50% of the vote in November, although Mr. Warnock had led Mr. Walker by 37,000 votes cast. Mr. Warnock, who became the first black senator in a Deep South state when he won his seat in January 2021, told his victory party at an Atlanta hotel ballroom, "It is my honor to utter the 4 most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken." The 53-year-old Southern Baptist preacher, whose Atlanta church was once led by civil rights leader Martin Luther King, gave a special thank you to his mother. He said she had grown up in the 1950s, picking someone else's cotton in Georgia. But tonight, he said, she had helped to pick her youngest son to be a United States senator.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Black excellence all over the place.
Black excellence, man.
All right, now bringing us back to the UK. So, Stephen Flynn has been elected as the SNP's new Westminster leader following the resignation of Ian Blackford. The Aberdeen South MP defeated Alison Thulis, who is seen as being closer to the First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, by 26 votes to 17 in a vote of the party's MPs. Mr. Blackford announced last week that he was standing down amid rumours that Mr. Flynn was plotting to replace him. Mr. Flynn will face Rishi Sunak at Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday. He has already said that he will appoint Mary Black as his deputy. Mr. Flynn, who's 34, had initially been expected to be the only candidate to replace Mr. Blackford, who was also regarded as being a close ally of Ms. Sturgeon. But Ms. Thulis unexpectedly threw her hat into the ring after sources close to Mr. Flynn were quoted in the media saying he intended to replace much of the party's front bench team in the Commons. There's also been speculation that he could return Joanna Cherry, who's an outspoken critic of Ms. Sturgeon, to a prominent role. Mr. Flynn had been the party's business, energy and industrial strategy spokesman. He said SNP MPs will be relentlessly focused on standing up for Scotland's interests and our democratic right to decide our future in an independence referendum under his leadership. He added that families across Scotland are paying a devastating price under Westminster control, with Brexit, austerity cuts and the Tory cost of living crisis hammering household budgets. SNP MPs will work harder than ever to hold the Tory government to account and make the case that independence is the essential route to safety, fairness and prosperity for Scotland. And the last headline, the government has pledged to relax restrictions on building onshore wind farms in England after threatened rebellion by some Tory MPs. A rule requiring new turbines to be built on pre-designated land was rewritten. Around 30 backbenchers had threatened to make the change through a planning bill going through Parliament. New wind farms will still be subject to local approval. The precise method of measuring local opinion will be part of a wider consultation, which will be concluded by next April. The concession comes after the government agreed to water down housing targets on Monday to put down a separate rebellion from Tory MPs. The rebellions had prompted the government to delay the progress of its levelling up bill through Parliament. Former Minister Simon Clarke, who led the rebellion on wind farms, said the concessions offered by the government were a really sensible package. He added that it would ensure decisions on new projects are made locally rather than have Whitehall rule it out. Labour's shadow levelling up Secretary Lisa Nandy said that ministers had been forced into this position because they're too weak to stand up to another backbench rebellion. She said that her party would need to see the detail, but warned the possible fudge that leaves in place a very restrictive system for onshore wind. She added that Labour's own plan, under which the approvals process will be aligned with other energy infrastructure, would lead to a doubling of capacity. And that's the end of the headlines.
Alrighty. So you guys know I don't have co-hosts. Like we're down 2 co-hosts today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys could call in, that would be absolutely fantastic and
Yep.
get in on this topic of the day with us. Because you lot, anyway, I'm not fresh shade, it's too early in the morning. All right, let's get into what you're saying topic of the day.
All right, people. So this question, it's a broad question, but today we want to tackle it from 2 angles. One somewhat serious and one kind of playful. But to be fair, will affect their lives long term, pardon me. Anyway, so the question is, with what tools do you plan to arm your children for the future? So basically, first part, what belief systems, right? Doesn't have to be necessarily religious. It just be any type of belief, right? It could be just a proverb. It could be a phrase or something. You know what I'm saying? Anything, really. It's up to you. However you decide to answer the question. With what beliefs do you want to instill into your children? Right? So let's maybe 3. It could be 3 of them. It's up to you. And also, what type of activities and sports do you want your children to get into? What are you going to make sure they do, like, basically straight away?
Yeah. It's so funny when you said the armor, there's basically some couple in America, and the guy's like, I don't know if he's a life coach or a pastor or something anyway. And I think he must have cheated on his girl. And then they did like a joint statement. Not girl, on his wife. Sorry. How can I bring it down? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And she had a bonnet on. She had a bonnet on, yeah. And then she was like, oh, you know, I know that he did this, blah, blah, but like, Christ is my strength and I've got my bonnet of salvation on.
Bonnet of salvation?
Because people were cussing her for wearing that. And she tried to, you know, the Bible was about like the sword of this and and the helmet of salvation.
Yeah.
She's actually got her bonnet of salvation on. She got cooked. But okay, so with me, the biggest thing for me of how I'm gonna raise my children is belief in God. That is so essential. That is just so important. That is literally gonna be the foundation of everything that I do with my children. And I think okay, so there's things that I see as an adult now that I just think that I feel like I'm going to raise my children a lot differently to how I've been raised. So there's just so much. I feel like obviously with our generation, I feel like we're in a very privileged, not even I feel like we are in a very privileged place compared to our parents. You get what I mean? Where they were basically in survival mode. And I just feel like when it comes to parenting, they obviously did the best that they could for parenting, but I feel like they had to do the essentials. They didn't have time for the additional things. Do you get me?
Yep.
So I am setting my life up where I can do the essentials and the additional things. Like I feel like with the older generation, like emotional availability for your children seemed like a bonus. That for me, I don't think that was an essential for them. It's more about you got food on the table, you got a roof over your head, you got you go to school, all the things you need for school is done. You've got clothes on your back. Like it was literally things that help you survive. And I think there's other things in life that helps you survive in life as well that was missed. So with my children, I know that I definitely want to be a very emotionally present parent and just literally present in every single way. But again, obviously, when we think about the dynamics of a lot of families, you know, like the mother's having to be here, the father's being back home, or you know, there's a lot of families where both parents were there, but it had the setup of basically a single parent family. Do you get what I mean? So this is why also like I'm very, very particular. I feel like even the ways I want to raise my children starts before I even have the children. For me, it's very big on who it is I have children with, like who my partner is. So that I'm definitely very, very, very big on. So I would say, I think belief, like faith is the biggest one for me. Because I think that will help my children in terms of how they will be as individuals in society and how they will deal with other individuals in society. When it comes to activities, I'm definitely going to promote education. And in the event that my child is not, you know, say like intelligent or whatever,
God
forbid, but say they're gifted in something, I'm gonna want to look at that and nurture that. Do you get what I mean? So I think for me, like, without burning my kids out, I'm gonna want to have them do different activities where I can kind of be like, okay, they do this, let's try this. If they like it and they want to commit to that, then we'll do that. I think definitely sports. I'm gonna keep my I hope it doesn't sound bad, but I'm gonna keep my kids like kind of fit and healthy.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, not project in terms of like, project in terms of fat phobia, but just keep them really healthy. Do you get what I mean? Like healthy, active, swimming. So I can't swim. I've got a fear of I've got hydrophobia. So with my kids, it's a real thing. But with my kids, like so basically before I have kids, that's something I want to face.
Okay.
So that I don't project my fears onto my children. Do you get what I mean? So I want my kids to learn how to swim and all that kind of stuff. There's something I thought of as well when you were talking about this earlier. Yeah, like even languages. I'm going to be so big on my children learning languages, like French, Spanish. Because you know what it is? I've read stuff, like research about up to a certain age, kids can learn so many languages.
Yep.
Hella language lessons up in the gaff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna learn. I want my kids to be multilingual.
Yeah, 100%.
So learn. Obviously, they will be able to speak Yoruba. I plan to be a Yoruba man, but just in case God's got other plans, I hope he doesn't. They would speak my husband's native language as well, and then like French. I would want them to speak French. Maybe
Why French?
I just think French gets people going. It's spoken in Africa, and it's spoken in European countries as well. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to be selective about the languages where it's. And I hate to say it, but China's really doing some things in the world. So they're going to learn to speak Mandarin as well. Yeah. So language is a big thing for me. I wouldn't even say language is above the activities for me.
Yeah, I definitely see why you say that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you feel like, okay, so if you had to pick, obviously things can change in the future, right?
Yeah.
Like how the world is and whatnot. But if you had to pick, rank these languages, I should say, in order of your children learning them.
Yeah.
Mandarin, Arabic, French, Yoruba, and
English.
Oh. English first.
Okay.
Yoruba next. Mandarin. And then like French in them. But I think English definitely first, because English is universal. Yep. So we need that. English is universal, we need that. And then Yoruba, because that is your roots. I don't want you going anywhere and you can't understand what people are saying. Like, I love it when people think I can't speak Yoruba and they're talking about me and then I respond to them in Yoruba. Oh, I love it. Power. So that, because that's your roots. And then Mandarin, because the Chinese are definitely taking over. 100%. So Yoruba, Mandarin, and then French.
Okay. Yeah, French is definitely very, very popular, man.
Yeah, French is very, very popular.
But Arabic is doing a lot, though. Because, you know, they got all the oil over there. Dubai, everyone invests in Dubai. You know what I'm saying? North Africa, the Middle East.
You're going to say such as a list. You said Dubai. I don't know. I think I haven't, not seen the hype, but I haven't seen what's going on around Arabic. So I didn't think of that.
And you know, loads of our people are out there as well, innit? Nigerians love to go there. If they can't go to England or America, they go there.
When COVID happened and Nigerians in Japan were crying out to be rescued, so what are you still doing there? Do you know what it is about Nigerians? Like, how do you survive in this place? Like, you don't know the first thing, but it's fine because Nigerians will go somewhere and have them speaking pidgin.
This is what I'm saying. This is it. Nigerians, I'm telling you, I know it just sounds like obviously we're just bigging ourselves up, but there's no place we can't survive.
We actually survive anywhere, you know.
You mentioned Japan. My auntie lives in Japan.
What are you doing there? Saying. Like, what would make you want to? Like, why did she move there?
Why did she?
Yeah.
Well, her husband moved there, so then she went for her husband. They raised their kids.
Is her husband Japanese?
No, what? Sorry.
Said she would have been the black sheep of the family.
No, he's Ghanaian.
To like
Yeah.
what?
So they moved from Ghana to Japan.
Why would you think that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so random.
Opportunities, though.
That's the thing.
Yeah, opportunities.
Well,
And
no,
you know what I mean?
Nigerians
They're
are
doing their thing
literally-
there. I remember the last time I went to Nigeria, one of my auntie's friends, we met up with them or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had recently come back from India. I said, what are you doing in India?
Like, what are you doing there?
He's got businesses in India. I'm telling you.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. But yeah.
How's
That's
she saying
true.
life is like over there for her?
We're in Japan.
Yeah.
It-
Or do you not talk to that auntie?
No, it's my mom's sister. It's tough. It's tough. It is tough at times, you know what I'm saying?
In what sense?
Just in terms of some opportunities. Like, to be fair, it's been a while since I've got like an update. But yeah, it can be tough in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? And even funny enough, obviously not to try and make Japan and China the same thing, but when I was chatting to Tilla the last time,
Yeah.
he was telling me about his brother as well, who's in
Yeah.
who lives
Is
in
he still
China.
there?
Yeah, he's still there.
All right.
So he was talking about the difficulties over there for him. Like something, he even mentioned something about cars, right? There's a certain amount of it's hard to get certain papers, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically, in order to get a car, you need a license plate.
Okay.
That's basically how they do it. So it's one of those things where
Wait, you buy a license plate, you say for the car?
Say again?
So you buy a license plate,
Yeah.
you just handed a license plate, and then you then get the car.
Sorry, it sounded like that. But do you know what it is? It's more so like if you sold your car,
Yeah.
you would keep a license plate. Because then if you wanted to get a car, you're already
That's your
registered.
access to. Okay,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a license.
Identity.
Thank you, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm probably not explaining it the best way, like, but it's along those lines, right?
Okay.
So even his brother, apparently, I think maybe almost rents a license plate off of somebody else,
Okay.
so that he has the opportunity to drive. Because as someone who's not native of China, it's a bit difficult for him.
So you can't get license plate. It's difficult for you to get license plate if you're not native.
I think you can get it, but I think maybe he had not suffered, but he's got maybe some difficulties in getting it. I don't know. It's not as easy as here, basically, what I'm trying to say.
That's mad.
So yeah, there's just little things like that. I don't have any specific examples, Brent,
Yeah.
about Japan, but I can get some and report back, man.
Yes, please.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely the language thing, man. Definitely. I think for me, languages, English, Yoruba, Twi.
Do you speak a fluent Twi?
No.
Okay. You speak a bit.
I used to. I lost it, you know.
Really?
Yeah, because my parents, they don't speak Twi at home. It's just Yoruba that they speak.
Yeah,
know what
they're
I'm saying?
Nigerian, man. What the hell?
Yeah,
He says it's
exactly.
like, what the hell?
But
like,
they only speak Twi when like their
They're
Ghanaian
around.
friends
Okay,
come
yeah.
over, or maybe their Ghanaian function or something like that.
okay.
And they're fluent.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's it.
So that's why I kind of lost it coming back when I came back from Ghana
Yeah.
and stuff.
All right. Would I, an outsider,
Mm.
be able to hear
I'm scared.
the switch between Yoruba and Tree?
No, because I've heard other because
So
other
I
people
am
have
just
said
gonna
to me
think it's one.
one thing. Yeah.
Would you
Alright.
hear this? Okay, no, I was gonna ask because that's different because you did it in school. I was gonna ask if you could tell the difference between German and Spanish and French, but you would. But what
Yeah,
about
yeah.
there's is it Latin? What language is close to Latin? Is it German? I think some of the
like-
words cross.
I think there's a bit of everything in Latin, you know, but I think it's more.
No, Italian. Sorry,
yeah.
Italian. Yeah, so Latin and Italian. No, that's not really a good example, isn't it?
And Latin's kind of it's a dead language. It's more so in.
Yeah.
Literary.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's the
Do you know
word.
what? I think you might tell the difference, you know? Because you know when we speak languages, like there's a different, the tone is different. Do you get what I mean? Like it's like when Colombians speak Spanish, right? When people from the native country speak the
Yeah,
language,
yeah,
you feel like they're angry. This time they're saying, "Oh, you're the best person in the world. I love you so much." Where it sounds like they're saying, "Oh my gosh, I hate you. I'm gonna kill you." Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think because even when I think about like Igbo and Yoruba, for example,
Yeah.
the tone in which we speak is different. The
Yeah.
way the words are is different. So I think you're able to gauge a difference.
But I think that's because we kind of have that in our mind, kind of.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Brent is obviously not familiar with like Yoruba, Tree, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think it may just sound the same.
Are
You're
you-
just trying to pick up words they can make fun of.
is, is there any difference in the tonality and guttural utterings of the language
Yeah.
of both languages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is more aggressive?
I mean, the people would definitely say Yoruba is.
They must be high on crack. That's some bullshit. So early in the morning. I think Igbo, because Igbo is quite strong.
Oh, you mean Igbo? I thought you meant Twi and Yoruba.
Oh, is that what you meant?
Yes.
Oh, Twi and Yoruba. Oh, Yoruba. But that's because the Ghanaians.
They're peaceful people.
That's exactly.
Peaceful people. They're loud. The Ghanaians are loud, I don't know where that peaceful rhetoric came from, but Ghanaians are flipping loud, and I'm Nigerian, and I'm like, yikes, y'all gotta be that loud.
And within the regions and different tribes within Nigeria, the languages are very distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Like Esther was about to
Is
say
there any
about Igbo.
crossover?
No.
I don't think so. No.
Oh.
Remember, they're different ethnicities.
Different ethnicities. Very different. I remember I learned Igbo in school.
Oh, is
When
it?
I was in Nigeria, yeah. I've lost a lot of it though. Can't remember. But like there's like basics I can kind of tell what you're talking about. But
Different
Very different.
ethnicities,
Yeah.
as in Yoruba and Igbo?
Completely
Different people
ethnicities.
completely.
Completely.
But talk to me, man. Talk to me. Because
They're
you guys
like-
are in the same land, right?
why do you think Brent?
And y'all don't call yourself brother and sister.
This is what we've been saying on the show many times.
No, I want to...
Why do you think that every time I talk about I want to be a Nigerian man and I say I want to be Yoruba, like I'm very
This is it.
specific.
I think
with God.
I thought it was just a tribal thing.
No.
Right, like a Leeds or a Liverpool
Oh, no.
or
Oh
London
no,
thing.
it's deeper than
No.
that.
We're completely different.
very different.
Different people.
Even the cultures is different. Like even the foods, man. Everything is different.
Tell me what you guys are
different.
talking about. Tell
Everything
me.
is different.
Because in my head, when I hear Nigerian, I'm just thinking,
I want to know.
Yeah. So break down the top differences, because you said you're different people, different languages.
Do you know what it is? I think.
Okay, I think Yoruba people are flashier.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say they're flashier. I would say though that Igbo people are more cultural.
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like they're very traditional. Because even when I went for my best friend's wedding, she's Igbo, right? And as rich as they are, as like everything that they are, like her dad's a governor and all that stuff, her wedding was still very, very traditional. Like very, very elders. Like the way that it was like all the way traditional.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in that burning heat, we're dancing around in circles and like it was ridiculous. I told you some man moved to me, some uncle moved, never know uncle, he's a dad of sorts. Moved to me, and not even a zaddy, he's a dad. He's a father. He moved to me, but he moved to me on the front of, he was Igbo, he didn't know I wasn't Igbo. And he just started speaking Igbo to me. I said, first of all, I said, I'm sorry, I'm Yoruba, I don't know what it is. He's like, oh, okay. But he moved to me in a way of not moving to me directly, which in Yoruba, you move to someone directly. Do you get me? Obviously, back in the day, you go through the family, whatever, but they move to you directly and then they'll go and speak to the family.
Yeah.
He moved to me on like, who can I talk to about marrying
No,
you?
yeah.
I said, bitch, I'm who you talk to about marrying me, and I say no. Thank you very much. Do you get me? So I think like culturally, like they're very, very, it's very, very cultural. Very, very cultural. Do you get me? I would say even in the way that I know, like even like in terms of like how they even see family. Obviously, I know Yoruba have their own things as well. But every time I'm on Nigerian Twitter, and I'm hearing stories about someone losing their parents and whatever, or losing their father, it's peak for the woman. It's especially peak if you're not from, even if you are Igbo. Because it's like, they have this tradition where like, I think the next available bachelor in the family can automatically marry you. And like a lot of times the possessions as well,
Yes, you're right.
the family, like it belongs to the dad's side. So a man can die. Sorry, any Igbos, I know Chijoke is live this morning. It might come for me, but the father could die. Yeah, the father could die. He could have kids and have a wife. It don't matter.
Yeah.
The family now, dad's family now owns everything that they can leave you with nothing basically. And they're so big on the boys thing. You're as good as you're useless if you don't have a boy for them. It's mad, and that is still in like today's culture.
Yeah.
Where if you don't give birth to a boy and you have all girls, you basically give them nothing. I feel like culture, like they hold on to tradition to a T.
But to be fair to them, obviously we're generalizing it.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
But I think sometimes it is kind of because we know our culture, so we're kind of just looking at theirs. but they might think the same thing about us.
That's why I'm an Ichijoke to call in. Because I want to know what people look as an outsider, as in someone who's either Hausa, which is another tribe in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Hausa are more the
In the north.
typically they're in the north and they tend to be like the Muslims basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm interested to see how the Hausas look at us, how we look as Yoruba people outside of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, so when y'all marry from the different tribe, right? Y'all have to basically speak English then. Y'all can't speak your home tongue and communicate.
Yeah.
No, you can, do you know what it is?
Unless they know it, but
Unless they know it.
But I think maybe I'm assuming what you're gonna say is like, especially in the south, like in Lagos, they people are starting to learn each other's languages to some degree.
We do. You do,
or at
because you
least
have to survive.
enough to be able to communicate.
But you know what it is? Because I think also as well, even when I think about when you marry in... Sorry? Someone come with me.
So,
Oh.
where are the Igbos predominantly based?
In the east.
In the east.
In the east.
Yeah.
And the Yorubas?
West. Southwest.
West, okay.
And then Hausas in the north.
Also, there's more.
Yeah. So the three main tribes is Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa.
And you're
And
all
then
different languages.
There's other tribes as
Not
well,
just
like,
languages, but different languages. Culture.
food,
How we marry.
how we eat.
bury our dead. How we eat. The name gods.
everything.
Every
I
single
understand
thing.
the culture part because you can see the different culture in London and Birmingham, right? You can see that.
Yeah.
But like completely different people.
Even when it's a Christian there, is different. The church settings are different.
Yeah.
It's it's so interesting.
Yeah. Do you know what it's like? Put it this way. It's kind of like having you see how you got like let's just say I'm super generalizing here, but say you got like Bangladeshi people in Tower Hamlets, right? You got bare Jamaicans in Hackney, right? And then all of a sudden someone just said we're going to draw up a new borough and it's going to join Hackney and Tower Hamlets together. And it's called Hackney-lets, right? And then all of a sudden you think all the people in Hackney-lets are the same people.
But so
That's how it is.
that difference is so stark.
So stuck.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yes, it's like that.
That's why you guys have been tussling
This
with
is
each other.
this is why Nigeria don't work. This is why we're saying it.
This is
right.
Because basically at the
Yes.
moment the Igbos are trying to separate again.
You see?
Because basically it's because the Northerners are trying to take over everything.
Yeah. Punk.
So basically everyone's like, we're not gonna have that. So basically, because originally before the slave owners came, we were all in our own regions. We're all separated. The white people are the ones who brought us together and said, okay, you're now called Nigeria.
There you go.
So now what they're fighting for, what the war is about, is everybody now going back to our default setting of being in our own spaces. So that way we don't have problems.
Exactly.
So it's so interesting you all now coming to this land and having to fight a common cause that is racism. Because then you all can identify as Black British.
Yep.
But when it is everything sweet and everything's just and people are treated fairly, you guys are going to go back fighting each other.
I mean, the people,
Because that's where you came from.
the people on ground are doing it.
Yeah, for real.
Jeez, this is eye-opening, man.
And remember, like Esther just mentioned, like 3 of us, like 3 different tribes.
There's
Yeah.
There's
hella.
like 200 to 300 different.
Let me see how many
ethnicities
tribes.
in
Let me Google
Nigeria.
it.
200 different, with all
Minimum,
their
but-
languages?
Yeah.
Wait, all different? What are y'all doing over there? What are y'all doing?
Messing around.
Look at that.
So
Nigeria
why
has
is-
over 250
Thank you.
ethnic groups.
Why is it just, I understand the ethnic groups, but all different languages?
We're all different
Okay,
people,
we
bro.
have over 500 languages in Nigeria. You know what? You know what it is. You know what I think it. You know when in the
This is why
Bible.
you got, well,
You know when the Bible. No, go on, finish the sentence. Please finish it.
I could, in a weird way, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say
Please
it.
say
Go
it.
on, bro.
Not even gonna.
Please.
Queen's dead. Queen's dead. I ain't bringing back that
No,
nonsense.
bring it. No, that's fine.
No.
Okay, text it to me. I'll say I don't respect the dead.
Because it sounds from the outsider that there's a lot of commotion and confusion going on in your land, right?
Yeah.
A land that all of you all share, right? Jeez.
Do you know what I was gonna say? You know in the Bible when they were trying to build the tower,
That's
tower
not
was
it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Nigeria.
us, you know?
Might as well be.
500 languages.
Boy.
As in
joke.
over 500 languages.
Imagine.
It's mad.
Can you imagine?
And I'm there thinking, I'm at my Nigerian. But you have that, which one?
Which
Yes,
one? Which
exactly.
one, Brent?
Exactly.
Which one?
Which is the most civil, without being biased?
It's us.
No.
You could finish your sentence.
No.
Who's the most
It's so
civil?
funny how both of you happen to be Yoruba.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like y'all seem to meet each other across the land, across the sea.
Yeah.
What is it like? Something in your blood?
I think
Is
so.
it a poison?
Of what?
Poison.
I don't know.
That just
It is.
feel-
Honestly, yeah. Again, I'm not trying to sound
Into
biased,
the
but I think
compass or
Yoruba
something.
people are some of the most productive people and survivors of any type of people in the world.
Yeah, I would say so.
100%.
But in terms of peaceful, I feel like we're then. I feel like maybe Edo's.
Okay.
I think the tribes that are peaceful are the ones that are not as prominent.
Prominent. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Edo people are very calm, you know.
So they're the
They're
Ghanaians
very
of
calm.
Nigeria.
Ghanaians one is alternative facts. These people are not calm. They've been lying to y'all. They're just
It's all relative.
Slow.
As well.
All
Yeah.
right.
And you have to bear in mind, remember, Nigeria, anyway, is like about 250 million of us. Like in Ghana, it's like 25 million.
Yeah.
of course
You know
they're
what I'm
gonna
saying?
be quieter.
So it's
Less of them.
completely different. Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Nigerians is interesting, man.
You guys are superpower, but y'all can't come together.
Yeah, that's why
You're
the country's the way it is, Brent.
Yeah, they forced us together though.
But would y'all want to be together though?
No, they don't want to be.
No, would y'all want to be? Obviously,
I
y'all
think it's better not to be.
because y'all are Yoruba.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
think that you guys are the bee's knees, right?
No, do you know, I think it's better not to be together. I think even as like someone who's Yoruba, looking at what like the Igbos are going through in the East, they've been oppressed, man.
Yeah.
It's better for them to, because they can do that. They can do better. Like I admire because I'll be honest, in this current fight that's going on right now, the leaders are the Igbos. They're not playing games. They're not playing at all. They're saying, listen, I will die if I have to. Like people who are all over the world, other Igbo people are like, listen, I will quit. I'm a surgeon, but I'm leaving this job to come back and fight for the war if I have to. Like,
So they're the wavy ones.
They're wavy. I can't lie to you. They are on job when it comes to being on separating. They're not playing games. They are very, very serious about it.
With
And
the
I
Igbos,
admire
yeah.
that. Second,
The Igbos, yeah.
the Igbos.
I think I think you're 100% correct, by the
Yeah.
way. But I think also because they've gone through certain things.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the Civil War in like 66, 67, yeah, like it was literally, at least it felt like Nigeria versus the Igbos.
Yeah.
So they've since then have always had to feel like, look, it's just us.
It's just us, yeah.
So we need to separate, you know
Of a
what I'm
community.
saying? So yeah, so I think that's
Yeah,
part
because
of the reason.
if a Yoruba person marries an Igbo person, you don't get as much slack as if you were Igbo, you married outside of Igbo.
I understand why
Yikes.
is y'all cling so vehemently to your tribe's identity outside of
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, it's so important for me to carry that on, man. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
man.
It really is not the same.
Because
This is why I
it's
always
very
say-
different.
Yeah,
Very,
it's not,
very
It's not
different.
just
Very,
a
very
drop in an ocean. It's
Nah.
like a whole Skittles there, and each of the
You're
Skittle
so
colors,
annoying.
each of the Skittle colors have their own flavor.
I'll be honest, yeah, because that's why whenever I talk about like wanting to be a Yoruba man, I think it's because I'm very aware of the differences. Like, I honestly don't think. I think I can meet somebody who's like Igbo or whatever, and he's nice or whatever, but the nerves, like, when it comes to me and his family, if I'm going to fit in, what it's going to be like, what that dynamic is going to be like in the future, what's going to be like for my children, that scares me.
Yeah.
Especially because he's a man. Different culture, man.
Y'all are always going to be complaining about the change in government then, because how are you ever going to have somebody to come in and join all of y'all? It's impossible.
Yeah, because when we had Tinubu, Tinubu, he was a thief.
There's a,
Then we
even a
had Good
headline
Luck
about him
Jonathan.
today.
He was
Yeah, exactly.
a joke. So Tinubu was Yoruba. Then we had Jonathan, Good Luck Jonathan. He was Igbo. Then currently we've got Buhari. He's Hausa. Like, bro.
Yeah.
But do
exactly.
they bless their own people? Do they make
Oh, of
sure?
course.
But this is why it is that they do deals with China and stuff, because they don't care about the rest of the tribes.
This is it, and this is what we've been saying for ages on here. It's
Yeah.
like it basically, and also how do you make people believe that you as a Nigerian, right, who maybe is Yoruba, really cares about every Nigerian? So this is why they have flawed politics, because like
Sorry, Manuel. Please focus on what you need to be focusing on, because if you miss that,
Oh, no,
we
not
are
yet.
not
Oh,
gonna-
I was just checking the time.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
we're here in this
good,
place.
Good. Sorry, Manuel.
is it on 9:30?
No, doors open at 9:30. So
Okay,
I was just checking the time to make sure I was on track.
Please be centered.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
All right, go on.
Yes. So it's like, how do you convince the entire country that you as a Yoruba person or an Igbo person who's the president really cares about everybody? Because everyone thinks you just care about your own people. So they've got some flawed thing here where it's like, okay, cool. If I'm a Yoruba president,
Yeah.
and I'm a Christian, I must have a Muslim Hausa vice.
Yeah.
So,
to
you
show
know,
balance.
To show some type of balance. It doesn't work.
But it don't be balanced.
There's
It
no
don't,
balance.
because they're still favoring the people.
100%.
So maybe what you need is for people to leave Nigeria, come to the West, right, proper, have a couple generations of that particular cementing in the West, and then go back.
Brent. Oh, that sounds like a plan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
However, the people there will not allow that. Because for them, you're not like pure breeds.
Oh, you're foreign now.
You're foreign.
So you'll want to remain in just squander.
No, because that's actually the way forward. And the way forward as well is basically also the older generation, they're holding these positions. They're not letting the young people who are actually getting educated, who are traveling out of the country and studying abroad, studying Nigeria, studying abroad, coming back to Nigeria, working in Nigeria, building up businesses. Like this generation of Nigerians is amazing. Like they create, like we even influencing wise in terms of media wise, amazing. Do you get what I mean? But because as well, overall in Nigeria, right? Overall the tribes, the differences, everything, the foundation of all of that, respect your elders. So that as well is cleaning our people. So you can't come as a young person and be like, oh, we should do this, da. You have no respect. But big man, this is a job. There's no room for sentiment and respect and stuff like that when I'm trying to tell you that this policy doesn't make sense. For them, they see that as disrespect. So do you know, our problems is not, it's too many damn problems.
Yeah, facts.
But they're not allowing the younger people to come in. And then if you're someone as well who wants to come in and you're younger, if you're proper someone who's actually like visioned and your tunnel vision on this is the right thing to do, they're gonna kill your ass. You gotta go. You're gonna have to go one way. So they will rig the system where you don't win or you might go. Who's that guy they killed? And even the UK, the Metropolitan Police tried to investigate it.
How long ago?
Years ago. But apparently he was it Abiola? And the murder scene in his was mad. And then no, it wasn't him.
No, who are you talking about? Wasn't Abiola? There wasn't something like
No,
that.
it wasn't him. It was someone, I can't remember his name now, but I remember like apparently he was going to be the one that was actually gonna like proper forward change or whatever.
Okay.
I think it was when Tinubu was running.
Yeah.
And then he got killed. But he would have been such a proper forward thinker to the point where even the Met Police had to go there to try and be like, no, we've got to investigate this murder because this is an assassination basically. But then by the time they got there, they'd allowed Nigerian press and everything to come in and take pictures. The whole murder scene was tampered that they couldn't do anything.
So, if the transatlantic slavery kicked up again, right? In some parallel universe.
Yeah.
It's possible that tribes in Nigeria would still look to basically feed that particular beast. Because if you all kill each other, why wouldn't you all...
Maybe you're right.
What do you mean?
Goodness.
What's the question? I didn't get it. I would sell each other for slavery.
Yeah, basically.
You all don't see each other as brothers.
And this is what I like to try and correct people when people say, oh, but black people just sold each other and da-da-da-da. It's people from different tribes.
Yeah.
We're different people. You know what I'm saying? Rarely did...
This is resonating with me now. Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
I could... If you will go, wake up in the morning, pack your Georgie bundle and your knife and then go over to the next village and look to slaughter, like to remove their existence from this earth, then why wouldn't you say, oh, you giving me money for this? I will ship you off.
Exactly.
And he wouldn't think twice about it.
Exactly. Because you're completely different people.
And if it will protect your people,
Yes, exactly.
why not?
Exactly.
Instead of Yorubas, you can keep the Igbos. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And that's how
It
is
was
throughout.
today that I found all this out, to be honest. Like, this is mad.
Our problems are like it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So if
Like,
I was going to go for a sweet Nigerian, like which one should I go for? Don't say Yoruba, because you just said you're
You
not.
know, I was about to
You
say-
just said you're
don't
not,
be silly.
not the waviest. You said the Igbo is the waviest.
I didn't
ones.
say no.
When
I
did we
said
ever say that, bro?
I said they're the waviest in war fights.
Yeah,
Yeah. In
So
one
if you want a
time-
woman that's gonna be fighting war,
yeah. To look after my children when it is I'm not there, 100%.
no, you're gonna look after children because she's
and
gonna be
if,
at war.
If there are
Brent.
women that want to come up in my face and like I can't hit a woman, do you understand? I'll send an Igbo, my wife. She mind no business. I can't trust the Yoruba. She'd be too timid.
No, trust me, Yoruba women are not
Nah,
timid,
they're
boy.
definitely not.
But not as wavy
Am
as
I
Igbos.
timid?
Exactly.
Not as wavy as Igbos.
I'm timid. Do you think I'm timid?
So if I were to marry one, like out of all of the characteristics and traits of the 250, right? Forget about the rubbish ones that you don't know. Obviously,
Do you know what's mad? Yeah, everybody has their pros and cons in it.
Yep.
so you can't be unbiased. I think you want to be. Go on.
No, do you know what it is?
You're-
Yeah,
you're-
do you know?
you're in Black
No, because
Britain
I'm
now.
thinking. No, but you said you're going to Nigeria to pick a wife in it. Okay, let me just say, okay. Do you know what though? As someone who lives in the West, I think it's just level playing field. If you go back home now, it's a different situation.
It's because I
everyone's got their
don't
pros
know
and
the
cons.
differences you're saying. So anyone is fine.
But here we're not too integrated in how the mentality is back home. So here you're dealing with someone who's westernized, but also is aware of their culture. There, you're dealing with someone who's cultured. That's it. So it's a different type of situation back home. So I think here, any girl, man, but the Yorubas are always waviest.
So your moving abroad is kind of like a good thing in the long run. Because it will dilute a bit your hostility towards each other.
Oh, it definitely does.
And the fact that is you guys could actually point out your differences so clearly in Nigeria.
What? Back home? Yeah. But you know, is like back home is very, very intense. It's very like that's like so I lived in Lagos, right? Lagos is like is the hub. But when I went to Abuja, I couldn't believe how calm it was. It was quiet. I said, wow. Because in Lagos, it doesn't matter what time of the day you land. Yeah. It's just like it's literally like fast. The life there is so fast paced. It's ridiculous. But when I got to Abuja, I said the city's asleep. And he was like, yeah, this is how it always is. And the driver, he's Hausa. And he was like, yeah, this is how it is. Everyone's just so calm. It's like just calm.
Oh, so it's the Hausa people I should look to marry then?
No, it isn't.
If I want peace?
It really isn't, Brent.
Oh.
I'm
Are they the ones that eat dogs?
No, that's Calabar.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
These are Calabar people. But I'm just talking about like the states.
Yeah.
In terms of it's being diluted in me because I live here.
Yeah.
So if I had grown up in Lagos and actually stayed in Lagos forever, I'd be a different person. But then I feel bad for them because it's the oppression, is the poverty, it's the struggles that makes them literally so like hard and intense. Do you get what I mean? But Nigerians are very lovely people though.
Sure.
Very welcoming. Don't be an egg. Very welcoming, very loving. But again, it's like they're in survival mode
all the time.
All the time. There's no days off for survival mode.
This is why religion's big.
Yeah, because they need hope. They need something to look forward to. They need something to look to. And that's what pisses me off because the pastors know that and they take advantage of that. Like literally, if you're in Nigeria, if you're poor, you could be like, you know, I'm poor, I can't get a job, I'll start a church.
Facts.
And you become rich.
Yep.
Dabble in a bit of, you know, the juju stuff as well. Get the herbal man to do some things, get some power.
All right.
On your way, mate.
So
you and TD Jakes are buddies.
Obviously, you guys know that it's curiosity that I want to instill in my child the most, right? Because it applies to everything in life, right? But in saying what y'all just said with the juju and stuff, does that mean that y'all have 250 different gods? Or is it just the same one?
No, it's all different because.
So y'all are like the Hindus and stuff.
No, but remember the Hindus maybe.
I didn't say Hindus, but.
Oh, okay.
Go on.
But remember, like every belief system has different. So one particular belief system may have numerous gods. You know what I'm saying? Yoruba maybe have a certain amount or one or this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, exactly. Like for example,
Yoruba. Must be hella gods.
Huh?
Yeah, there must be hella gods.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
But it's
but it's God with G though. It's not the Almighty God, is it?
I hear that, but boy. All right, so what other African nation has this?
Oh, it's all over because Africa for itself maybe has about 10.
250.
Let me check because you know what? When I was typing it, Kenya came up in the suggestions. Yeah. Okay, they have 42 tribes. That's nothing.
But Africa, I've seen estimates that Africa as a whole has maybe about 10,000 different tribes.
I understand the tribes, but if each tribe, because if you take the UK, right, and you see people in Liverpool, and you see black people in Liverpool, and you see white people, right? Now just take the flipping country, not country, the city, and they all speak English, right? And they might have different practices because of what is available in the environment, right? So they grew up a bit different, right? And then you take London, and certain parts of London, you have quote unquote different tribes in London, different impoverished areas behave differently, right? Whatever. I can see that as tribes over here.
Okay.
Do you
No,
understand?
I mean,
as how you're saying it's Scottish and Irish.
Yeah, that's how.
Do you
it is.
understand?
That's how it is.
Apparently it's
Bloody
Uganda.
hell.
Apparently Uganda had the most ethnically diverse.
There you go.
They're the most ethnically diverse country in the world.
Even better than Nigeria.
Yeah, apparently so.
yeah.
But are they more peaceful than Nigeria? Government?
Uganda. No, Uganda's had civil wars, man. They've gone through some stuff, man. But I'm trying to think now, what country hasn't in Nigeria?
Honestly, in Africa.
I am so uneducated. This is good stuff. But yes, curiosity. To go back to the thing. I don't want to make sure you guys
What thing?
get me late. The actual question of
Oh,
the
yes,
thing.
yes.
Curiosity is mine.
Yeah. Okay.
What's curiosity?
I want to instill that into my children.
Okay,
Before I
yeah.
even introduce Christianity,
Oh, really? Okay.
religion,
To, like, ask questions.
100%.
Yeah, that's
100%.
exactly. I think that's definitely one as well, man. Like, I don't really want to be one of those. I feel like it's important to have a certain framework, right? But I don't want to be one of those who is like, oh, this particular thing is off limits. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I feel like it's also important to have some type of responsibility to make sure they don't just go off reading and just be finished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's important because you know what it is with I know Nigerians anyway. I don't know about other people, but with Nigerians, like children are like literally you're seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Like I definitely want my kids to be heard.
Yeah.
Not like shut up, mum. Obviously, that could not happen.
No way,
I haven't got the shakes thinking about that. But like, do you know what I mean? But to be able to have that freedom to be able to ask questions and I don't understand this and and like, yeah, 'cause I think that's very important.
I think also for me, I want them to know about Yoruba traditional belief systems. So in addition to, going to church and stuff like this, right? I want them to know about those traditional belief systems that made us Yoruba people.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because kind of also another way to answer your question, but when you mentioned about all the different gods, as much as there's so many different ethnicities, there isn't many different religions. So because remember, we've been colonized by white people, different type of people and whatnot. So even though there's maybe, let's just say there's 100 different ethnic groups from the middle of Nigeria downwards, right, south, it may just be two religions, just Christian and traditional. You know what I'm saying? So, so I guess for me, the Christianity thing, 100%. But I think that they need to know the importance of Yoruba traditional religion, man. Because I feel like there's so many things that we kind of throw in the bin because we're Christian or because we're Muslim or because we're Jew.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't be Jew nowadays, but you know what I'm trying to say? So all those things need to be, I think it's important because it's what makes us what we are. You know what I'm saying? I think in terms of sports and activities, though.
Football.
Yeah, football, but...
For your sons.
Yeah. But boxing as well.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't necessarily want them to be boxers.
Okay, yeah, but...
You know what I'm saying? Unless I really see in them some type of skill where it's like, you are a good defensive boxer. Because like there's certain types of boxers now who just want to knock people out, but they leave themselves open. So they get a lot of punishment as well. I don't like that. But someone like, let's say someone like a Mayweather, who may not be the most aggressive, but he's the most defensive.
Okay.
So it's minimal impact that he gets. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, yeah. Even when I think about that, what is it? Is it jiu-jitsu? My uncle was telling me that I should take up. But like, I want my kids to like learn like self-defense.
Yeah.
Like self-defense class, all that kind of stuff. Especially my girls, definitely.
Exactly.
100%.
Do you feel like you're gonna raise your sons and daughters differently? I know it's a very broad question.
No, it's not broad.
Okay.
Because it makes sense. For the most part, no.
Okay.
I think there's certain conversations that I will have to have with my girls that, I will have with my boys too. So that when you meet women, you know how to treat them. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think the conversation, it will be the same conversations, but from different perspectives. It will be handled from different angles. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, I think conversation, because with the way we were raised, but like it's like conversations I had with women. So for example, prime example, women are told, like Gina was saying on Friday, everything we do, the way we've been raised and social, like when I tell you every single thing has been in preparation for to get a husband. But the men have not been prepared on how to keep a wife, or how to have how to get a wife. Do you get what I mean? Men are told. It's funny because the things that's taught to us is so it's so opposite. It's crazy. Like it doesn't make sense. It's chaotic. We're told how it is that we should present ourselves so we can get husbands, and then save yourself, be able to cook, be able to clean, be able to da. But men are taught to just your man, be wild and free, boys with boys. Do you get me? So how do we meet in the middle where then a man who's been told boy with boys and you get as many options as you want, and a woman is saying just look for one option? How do we meet in the middle? Do you get what I mean? So I think I'm going to be having a conversation with my kids, but it's going to be from different perspectives and different angles, but it will always apply to both of them. I can't think of one conversation that I would just be able to only have with my daughter. Yeah. That it will not, that wouldn't apply to my son.
Maybe yeah, I definitely get what you mean though. What about in terms of like marriage and how to maybe subjects like submission and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Preparing the house, looking after children and stuff.
Yeah.
The roles are different, right? At least in my mind, the roles need to be different, right? So how would you then, because surely that's a different conversation.
Not really, because I think that the way I want my household to be, because when I think of submission, I think when we have some conversations about submission, we always just talk about cleaning, take childcare and stuff like that. But for me, submission isn't that, because it's both our kids. We both live in the house. Like all that stuff to me, that's not something that one person takes up more than the other person. Okay. Circumstances might mean that, because, you're further along your career, your earnings can keep us more in terms of blah, blah. So I will stay at home more and take care of the kids and blah, blah. But there's not going to be days where I'm not out and you're the one, or I'm not on a trip and you're the one who's watching the kids for 2 weeks or however long you have to watch the kids for. Do you get what I mean? I think this is why I say the conversation needs to be had for both people, because what we end up with is men who don't know what the first thing to do. And I see this across all ages, where men don't know how to take care of their kids.
Facts, that's
and
true.
They're calling, and the wife has just left the house and they're calling, where's this? I remember one time someone was telling me her husband was asking her where his socks were. I said, first of all, this is not something you should be saying out loud, ma'am. You might not want to be telling people this. But do you get me? It's like things like that. They don't understand like what it is that kids. I even watched a reality show. I don't know if anyone's watched it, anyone watching. It's called Love and Marriage of Huntsville or something like that. And basically, it shows like 3 different couples. They're all related in some kind of way. I think 2 of them are like brothers and like childhood friends or whatever. And their setting is different in each marriage. So the first marriage is they're both like entrepreneurs. They're both the Holts. They literally have this empire, whatever. They both work same amount of work, if not like they both are very successful. The second marriage, the woman is a housewife and her husband's the only one that works. The third marriage, the woman is older, her man is younger, she's already got a kid from another marriage, and I think they didn't want to have a child together. So it's like literally showing different types of marriages. But the one where she's a housewife and her man's the only one who takes care of the kids, she got to a point where she was like, when she met up with me, I think she was educated, had a degree, was working as a nurse, whatever. But because they had kids, she stopped all of that. He was like, oh, stop all of that, cool. But she was like, it's at a point now, the kids are older, I want to get back into work. He was struggling with that because he's like, I want my wife to be a housewife. So that had to come to like some kind of understanding. So even when she go meet up, so she wanted to get herself out there, network. She went to an event here and he was sleeping. The kid came to say, oh, Dad, I'm hungry. And he was like, okay. And the kid was like, can you make me food? And he was like, okay. This man didn't know what food to make the child. He didn't know, he couldn't make eggs. He didn't know, he didn't know the first thing about taking care of his children. Yeah. Do you get me? Like, this is where, like, when a woman leave, I can't imagine leaving my kids with my husband and I'm writing you a list of how to take care of them, of, how to bath them, and they're allergic to this soap, and don't feed them strawberries because they, do you get what I mean? So this is why I say the conversation can't just be one sided, it needs to be for both people. So I want my sons to grow up and be independent, to know how to cook and clean and all that stuff. I want him to be a useful husband.
100%.
To whoever they be like, my son looking to a woman to feed him, to clean, to do all that stuff. I failed as a mother. I failed. Do you get what I mean? So even in those conversations, in terms of childcare, whatever, yes, of course, there's certain things you can't do. Yes, of course, the woman have to stay longer if she's able to breastfeed and wants to breastfeed. Of course, yes, but however, you're going to be a very, very responsible man. My brother, if my sister-in-law was to go to Ghana, even when she went to Ghana, she can go to Ghana and leave the kids with him for a month. and he will still work and do everything he needs to do. Like he does school. Like, do you know what I mean? They're fine. Like, if she goes for a weekend or whatever, he's got the kids all through the weekend. It's not the thing where he's even coming to my house and be like, "Oh, mum, can you?"
Yeah.
No, like he's literally him and the kids, and he's got their own. They've got their own system with their dad as they do with their mum. Do you get what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think conversations are not different for me.
I think though nowadays the men are a bit different to our parents' generation.
Yeah.
Because our parents' generation, I think a lot of the men would be kind of looking around baffled.
They're like, "What do you mean?" They were the breadwinner. That's where the job starts and stops.
But I think our generation now, especially when you understand the woman also goes out to work and has to do certain things, the men do certain things too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I never forget, like with me, like my mum, obviously my parents' dynamic, probably like all our parents, right? Where the man is this and the woman does this and the third. But when you hear your mum, for example, say to you, make sure you help. Make sure you do this in your house. Because it makes you think, obviously, that system may not be as great as it looks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but at the same time, my mum always told me, make sure you never rely on a woman. So I've always had that in my head. Like, I'll never be in a situation where it's like, okay, if this woman don't cook, if this woman don't
You're
clean,
gonna starve. And do you know what I mean? In that situation?
It's
Do you know what I mean? That's my thing, because my thing is that, like, these are basics of, like, before you get married to somebody, God forbid your parents die, at some point, even forget your parents dying, at some point you're going to have to live alone, right? Say you go to another country to, like, how do you survive? This is a basic survival thing. But again, a lot of families raise, the way a lot of people are raised is that that's a woman's job. Yeah. Cooking, cleaning is solely a woman's job. So they don't raise their sons to know how to survive. How is it a woman's job for you to be able to survive?
But I think also, just to be a bit fair to them, I think it's also because in that day, marriage was permanent. So it's like there will be no situation where your wife should disrespect you to the point where you go to bed hungry. There should be no situation where she just leaves you. You know what I'm saying? Or you leave her. Yeah. So I think it was kind of a thing where even if there's arguments in the house, you still ate. You still, it was kind of guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, that's just a high level of disrespect. Yeah. I remember seeing one funny video. Yeah, it was done on purpose by the wife, right? Yeah. And she called her husband. It was on Instagram, and there was some food on the table. And it's like, oh, we're about to eat type thing, innit? So she put, let's just say it was pounded jam and egusi or something. Yeah. So she's got the water there. She's put a plate out for him. Got her plate. Literally, she's washed her hands. Just started eating. Yeah. And he's there looking at her like, I don't understand what's going on there. Like, even my plate is empty. And you're not. That's wild to me. Like,
your hand's broken.
He just got up and left.
He'd rather starve than just left. Pick up a spoon and serve his food himself. But again, that's how a lot of men, like, it's like, this is the woman's job. That you will starve. You will starve, yeah. What is it Yoruba people say? Okay, here's some Yoruba for you guys. Like, you'll be so hungry, your neck will thin out from the hunger. Because you think I'm going to be serving your plate like that. Of course, these are things that I like to do. Ben, don't try it. Don't even try it. Like, these are things that I would want to do anyway, but it's not that I have to do it, or it's like, this is my role that it must be done. For me, that's wild. And you're not going to eat because you want to be served.
That's kind of how I see, not to make about that, but this is kind of how I see the whole thing we're talking about with the Deion Sanders thing. Oh, yeah. Where it's like, I think maybe in certain situations, black people should do certain things. Yeah, yeah. But I can't expect it all the time. I can't rely my entire life on this. Yeah. It's the same type of thing. I think the wife should do these things. 100%.
Oh, here we go.
But, you know what I'm saying? But I shouldn't live my life thinking.
Hello. You won't survive if you don't. Yeah.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Hi, guys.
I'm saying so. How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. It's Christy here.
Oh, hi, Christy.
Love the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was speaking to you yesterday, so it's good that you actually made it. It's good.
Yeah, I thought I'd call in today since you are two co-hosts down.
Thank you. You're my co-host today.
And also, I'm Nigerian, so I'm Nigerian biased. And I'm also Yoruba.
She said Yoruba.
Yoruba, yeah?
I'm Yoruba.
Oh, there you go.
I understand. I also want a Yoruba man.
Okay, girl. And because
it is what it is.
That's why even when Gina was like, we want the want the other Nigerian men, want the Igbos in them. Don't want the Yoruba. There's too much. It's too many of us.
I can't lie. The distinction is a lot. So for me, so I get the sentiment. I honestly do. And people think I'm being horrible when I say that, but it's not actually. It's literally just being practical in reality. But anyway, in terms of the topic that you guys are talking about, in terms of the race. I'm not in the chat because I haven't signed up, but there's some wild comments in that chat. There's some wild comments. One person said, "How can you be a great mum if you're an office babe?" I said, "Wow."
I think I know who you're talking about. You ain't even gotta say it.
I know who. Yeah, he knows. He knows who he is.
He knows who he is.
Yeah, he knows who he is. Yeah, he knows who he is. And I think another person said, "Why would you even leave them with me?"
Yikes.
Are they not your kids?
Okay.
But anyway,
it's mad.
Yeah, I think in terms of raising your kid, I feel like in the day and age that we're in now, we have to be realistic in the current times and climate. So we yes, I would like to apply, because I've got a 7-year-old son. I would obviously like to instill certain things with him in terms of, yes, from like how my parents instilled in me. However, also based off how my parents also, they will, as you said, Esther, it was a different time than how you raised kids. It was very different. So I just think, but I also think there's definitely still some traditional traits that you should instill in them in terms of, I feel like you can't really, trying to raise boys and girls the same. I get you. I think in certain aspects, I think it applies.
Yeah.
However, I think in other aspects, it can't apply. It can't apply because I feel like when we're doing that, this is where we're going to create which is why the problems we're having this whole gender war in the first place. Because people are not, we're not what's the word? We're not allowing for the fact that we are actually different, and that's okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
No offense, but I don't need to be a man. I
don't want to be a man.
I like being a woman.
I actually don't want to be a man.
I don't want to be a man.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a man. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I see where what they bring. There's no way I can bring it. The way how God made us is just not. That's just not it.
Yeah.
So we have to be realistic in that. In that format. But however, in terms of like, for instance, like I can't lie to you. I will be raising my son. He needs to respect his dick. He does. And I feel like that's not taught.
Yeah, it's not.
Please put respect on your penis.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. Have some class.
How with girls, we're obviously taught, our values. They're like, keep it, is very sacred, is this, is that.
Yeah.
Please, also the boys should be taught that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was missed back in the day.
Yeah, and that's, it's funny, because my mum had that, that's how my mum raised my brother.
Yeah.
So she taught us that, and she also said, listen, don't think you can, this is what is your God-given right to be doing this and that. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that is very important.
Yeah, I think because I feel like the problem with certain guys, they don't even hold their dick in high esteem also.
Okay, sorry, can I just ask, off the topic here, is that an ick for you?
What, that they don't? Yes, it is. That's 100%.
It's ick for me. If I meet a guy and you say you're just community dick, just anybody can sleep. Oh, yeah, please, me off, man.
Be wise. Be wise. Just because you can sling it anywhere and everywhere, that doesn't mean that you should.
Exactly.
And I feel like that also needs to be taught. I feel like that element now with guys is missing.
It is.
There's no discipline taught. There's no discipline taught in that area. Because I feel like even back in the day, there was still a thing of if you're, I feel like it was even frowned upon. Like, you're not really a man if you can't hold down your family in that sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they pushed you to be a husband. Like they actually said, fair enough, maybe not all the tools, but they said, like, what are you doing? Like, this is irresponsible.
Yeah.
This is irresponsible. Yeah. If you cannot hold down a family, you are actually an irresponsible man.
Yeah.
Facts.
So I feel like that's not really instilled now either. So I thought, in terms of the men saying, oh, this whole narrative of us women are not feminine, we're not this and that. But you guys also are not disciplined, I don't feel like. So I'm not saying all, I don't want to generalize, but then also, they don't, like, please, like, hold yourself in a regard, don't just be disciplined. Yeah. I feel like that's not even taught either. Be disciplined in a way I feel like there's a lot of undisciplined men right now. I'm sorry to say, very undisciplined.
You're very right, because
they lead certain things they lead with, and I'm just like, nah, this is why your life is haywire.
Because when I hear some guys, because when I hear some guys talk about the kind of women they want, I'm like, you're not even the kind of man.
Facts.
You're not the kind of man that this kind of woman would even want. You're talking about you want your woman to be submissive. What am I submitting to?
That's facts.
What am I submitting to? What here are you giving me that makes me think, do you know what? Like, I can trust that you're in the lead. I can't trust you to be in the lead.
Yeah.
You can't even lead yourself.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's true. Chrissy, you are spitting
Yeah, you're spitting the truth, man.
the truth,
No,
man.
I don't. This whole submission talk, I don't even mind. Even in terms of, again, I feel like that can be talked to my son as well. In terms of, okay, if you want the woman to submit to you, please, his dad has to equip him with the tools. Please, I say that to him all the time. You have to equip him with the tools.
Yeah.
Just don't. You can't just think a woman's gonna follow you just because you're just a man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is it. Oh my gosh.
That doesn't work like
It's
that.
true.
It doesn't work like that.
This is why I have an issue with that submission word.
I need people to equip their sons with the tools. And and that's why I actually think it's very important for fathers to be in sons' lives. I can never negate. And it's very important.
Yeah.
I'm a proponent of. I definitely think that is very important. So trust me, I'm not in for that. Oh, I can be the mother and father.
I'm not trying to be.
Good.
I'm not trying to be.
That's bullshit. That is actual bullshit.
It should never be the woman's role to try and raise a boy to be a man.
No.
Never ever.
There's certain things I can't equip him with.
Can't do. Facts.
I cannot equip him. So that I leave that to the dad. I 100% agree with that. I don't care. I don't care if that sounds whatever they like, these new terms they like to throw around these days, these modern people. I don't care.
People are weird.
That one.
No, but it doesn't. I don't think that sounds.
I don't mind.
That doesn't sound anyway. But
no, you'd be surprised.
No, but it doesn't.
No, they will tell me.
Though, that
they will tell me I'm being
they will.
pick me,
No,
or I'm being
listen,
this, I'm being all that. So.
I come from a single parent family. Yeah, my mom is absolutely amazing. My mom has done an amazing job for my brother. Like when I look at how my brother is as a dad, I am like amazing. She's done an amazing job. But my mom would tell you, as great as the job as she's done, if she could do it differently and have the story written differently, she would do it. It's a thing where like she had to step up
100%.
because of obviously the circumstances. So how can anyone have a problem with what Chris is saying? Because it's obvious. Every child should have both parents there because both parents can instill different things that help every child. Like in the same way, I can't see my husband being the one to help my daughter be like, to help her with her femininity and like her womanhood alone.
Exactly.
Of course, there are single parent fathers as well
It can't run.
who do it.
Yeah,
However, if we look at what the situation should be ideally, what is God intended, both parents should be there to help nurture the children. So
100%.
how can you have a problem with that? If you have a problem with that, you need to check yourself.
Yeah, but I feel like these modern people, they just like to. Oh, don't get me wrong. Again, I also adapt to my time, so I know there's certain things. Like obviously, ideally, if I had my way, I'm not going to be a working woman. Ideally, but circumstances. That's not the reality in life right now. That's not. Mate, there's a cost of living crisis.
Okay.
So also, I feel like the men need to account for that as well.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you say you want this traditional woman, but we're not in traditional times anymore. We're just not.
Yeah.
We're not. So we have to adapt with certain things.
Yeah.
I think there's fundamentals that you don't need to adapt because I was funny enough. I was even saying to Brent yesterday. I said I'm sorry, but certain men don't even know DIY.
Okay,
Not know
girl.
DIY.
And this is what you want me to
not know DIY?
That's
But
true.
you tell me you want me to be cooking and
your
clean and
hands.
clean and clean. But what do you do in the house?
It's true.
Except exist.
Please. No, please.
And that's my thing, because whenever people talk about, women should be able to do this and do that, I'm like, okay, that's great. I said, man, what are you doing? Because the reasons why women were doing the cooking and cleaning of our blood is because the men were picking up other things. Some women, like, they don't even know what day the bin goes out in the house. They don't know. They don't know when a light bulb is out. They don't know. They don't have a clue, like, that maybe the table was shaking. They don't know because the men have, before the table even starts to shake, he's already repaired it. Do you get me? It's a thing about balances, checks, and like, we balance each other out in the household. But what we have today is a lot of men seeing what their fathers were requesting from their mothers, and then going forth with that, but they're not doing what their fathers were doing that allowed their mother to do what it was that she was doing. Do you get what I mean? This is why I always say, like, with the submission, I feel like with submission, we've really, really brought it down to just cooking and cleaning and blah, blah. Like, it's so much more than that. It's being with someone who you feel like, I can trust that, okay, we together are raising a good family. We're raising a home. We're raising children that are going to be great people in society. It's a case of, okay, do you know what? This is your strong point. When it comes to finances, I will let you take the lead. In that case, it's okay, I'm following my husband's lead. When it comes to matters of the house and I don't know, whatever it is, he's like, you know what? I'm not skilled at that. That's surely, this is where submission, because the thing is, with submission is not a one-way thing. There are moments in a marriage where the man will have to submit because it's like, you're better at that, you're better at doing that than I am. Do you know what I mean? It's about knowing what both your strengths are.
Do you know, it's also, sorry to cut you.
Yeah, let's go.
I think it's also, with the submission thing, with what you're talking about in terms of understanding what you can and can't do,
Yeah.
just being honest about it, right?
Yeah.
I think the submission things come comes into place where it comes down to situations where we're considering who's going to have the final word. Who is the head of this household?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the issue is with a lot of us men, right?
Yeah.
We want to be the head of the household. And you people know my view. The man is the head of the household. But the thing is, why is it that some women say that yes, the man's the head of the household, but then give him issues?
Do you know what it is, Iman? Yeah, like
And I think that's what men,
I'm someone who, when I do get married, I will be submissive to my husband because I'm submissive to my husband in the best way I can, not in the slavery Bible, my parents' generation type of way.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make this submission work to what we have going on in this marriage. I don't think submission looks the same for every person. However, the problem is I've met guys who, quite honestly, I've dated guys I don't respect. I've dated guys where I'm like, in dating them, I know that, okay, this is not going past these cute little dates we go on.
Yeah.
And on the same other hand, I've dated a man where I'm like, do you know what? I can go to sleep at night knowing that you've got us.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because again, he's got the skill sets to be able to run this household like this, to actually be the man of the house.
Yeah.
A lot of men, this man of the house, a lot of men just say it. Oh yeah, a lot of them just say it. They don't have the tools to actually be the man of the house. So then this is where you get conflict, because you're saying you're the man of the house, you don't work, you're a bum, you watch your wife go out to work all the time. Because this is settings, even in older generation, I know settings like this, where the man's always, I'm the head of the house. But the woman is the only one who earns the money. Yeah. She's the only one who is running this house financially. And then when she comes back and says, you wanted to cook and clean, blah, blah, what are you the head of? If not the head of useless men committee, what are you the head of, please? Do you get me?
It's fact. You're talking
so
facts.
for me, it's like,
Iman,
there's no problem with Chrissy. There's no problem with a man being the head of the household. And I'll be honest with you. Do you know what the truth is about women? A woman will submit to a man that's worth submitting to.
Yeah.
Any woman, as much as I talk on this platform, blah blah, you should see me in relationship. I'm soft as hell. But again, because I'm with a man that is worth being soft for. Do you get me? A woman will submit to a man who knows where he's going, who's actual leader. But if you're not leading, if you're doing this, that, I'm respecting you, man. Me from my front.
I think you're right.
To an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like also a lot of the women today are not raised to be submissive. So they say that.
Okay.
I can see it in you, right? That because I could tell that obviously you're the type of person, you understand, I don't want this to sound misogynistic, right?
Okay.
But you understand levels. You understand the roles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of women don't understand that.
Yeah.
And so they say, I'm going to be submissive to a man that's going to be like this and he has to do this. But they don't know how to be submissive.
Yeah.
They want to go in there and just fight. Because if you really know about submission, you understand, okay, cool. He's the head of the house. And if I trust him to even live in this house, right, let him have the final say. If not, why are you living there?
Yeah. Do you know one thing I learned as well, is that men need to know that they're actually needed. And that's it, because I feel like obviously a lot of women we're raised these days to be like independent and workplace, blah, blah. I'm an egg, I'm actually fragile. I just want to be cared for. But I think the reality is that men want to be, I think, do you know what, there's just ways around it, innit? To make it all sweet. Because sometimes men don't really be in control.
Yes.
But you make them believe that they are. And that's fine. Because I know the truth. And he knows the illusion in which I've created for him, which is for him is the truth. And let's go. Let's do it.
Do you know what's funny though? The men might come after me. But you know the thing is, when you said about the whole thing about...
Come for you.
You know what you said
I'm
about...
disappointing him right now.
You know what you say about women being in control? A lot of men know that is the case.
Yeah.
And it's not because, women are in control, just like that, but because we've allowed you to be in control. Because in the same way you're submissive to us, we trust your judgment. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you're a good woman anyway, right? And a good mother. We trust your judgment to be like, cool, certain things here, you can handle it. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one time at a place of work where I was talking to one guy, one Nigerian guy, I was talking about money and then being like, oh, when you get your money and then the woman's going to spend this and that. He was like, at the end of the day, as the man, you make the money. And what I do is I just give it to her. And she just, you know what I'm saying? So yes, he's in control, but he trusts his woman enough to make those decisions. And obviously in certain places where she can't, you come back to the guy who's in control.
Yeah.
And then I'll make the decision for us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that dynamic is there's no ego there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it's also people, both men and women, understanding their roles. But in this generation, I think women, for some reason, want to fight men. They don't want to do what they should do.
No,
and
no,
men,
it's
and
Iman.
men, it's the same
Iman,
thing.
Can I just make one point
Yeah,
before I
go,
leave?
sorry.
Before I leave? Can I, in terms of the whole, even the submission thing, I think it's a term that's been very overly used in this time.
Okay.
I feel like, there's certain buzzwords that we now want to throw about, and now everybody uses it, like, toxic,
Yeah.
narcissistic,
narcissistic.
all these buzzwords, I feel like that's another submissive. It's become a buzzword, and I feel like certain men, and not again, I feel like definitely women have their part to play. However, I feel like certain men though, when they say they want a submissive woman, that's just code for they want them to shut up.
Yeah,
I think you're right in that regard too. Yeah, 100%.
They want that is code for just shut up and be a mute. I feel like there's a lot of they think that's what he is, and I feel like even certain men don't even really grasp the actual concept of that word.
Yeah,
like I feel like we're just throwing it around loosely. It's just getting thrown around so loosely now, and everyone's just making their own terms and whatever. But I feel like certain men, they just feel like, if I say I want a submissive woman, it's because you want her to be quiet. Yeah, just say that you want her to be quiet. Yeah. You don't want her to have any you don't want it, and I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's correct. I think I don't think in this modern time as well, saying that we want to fight. I think also again, I feel like we're not bringing in these times as a factor. Yeah. Because I feel like certain, just how, we've been conditioned as black people to be a certain way in terms of in our environments, we've had to, I feel like it begs the question for men and women. Like with women, we've had to adapt to certain things in it's not that we want to. Yeah. It's not that we want to. But it's like, in our surrounding, in our environment, we have to adapt. So it's like we have to be made to and then because that's been the environment we're in, and we've had to adapt. We've now been labelled, we're not feminine anymore. We're not this anymore. Yeah. No, it's not that. But in certain things, I've had to relinquish that certain times. Not because I want to. Yeah.
Do you know what the truth is as well?
But I feel like there needs to be more understanding. More, I just think we're not even understanding. There's just not any kind of level of understanding anymore either. So I don't think there's been allowances are made again for the times on both ends. So I feel like men need to make allowances, realize, okay, do you know, in the times we're in, yes, I want this submissive woman, but I also need to do X, Y, Z, and we have to. There's got to be some movement there. Do you know, it's the same with the women. We can't just be expecting. We can't be expecting. Look, come on, we can't do. Look, I'm a woman. I know we do. We have some unrealistic expectations, and I'm like, even me, I'll be like, woman, you need to shut up. I beg. Yeah. It's nice. No. You need to calm down, please. You need to calm down, because I also think I need to make allowances that it's actually it's hard, and it's hard for black men, because me, I'm only want a black man, so it's hard. It's very hard. Yeah. So I also need to have understanding in that sense. Yeah, but we don't have understanding on each other ends. And I think also men need to understand it's hard for black women also.
Facts.
Yeah, because you see how we say black women are women going to stuff, they're fighting, blah blah. I think men are too in 100%. The way that in the way so it's a thing where this is why it's literally gender war. It's not a one-sided thing where it's just the women coming at the men. Of course, it's the men coming at the women as well. It's a both-sided thing.
We're combative. We're on the
too combative.
And unfortunately, it seems to be more so amongst black people for some reason. You know what I'm saying? But I fully agree with you. But I just feel as though, I don't know, with me, the way I raise my daughter is to be like, again, don't rely on no man. Because at the end of the day, I'm being honest with you, a lot of us men are not men. We're not behaving like men. We don't know how to take on responsibility. We don't know how to do certain things. So 100%, don't fully rely on a man. You know what I'm saying? But also be a woman. Because it seems as though, again, just because you've had to adapt because of maybe the lack of good, viable, available, responsible men, right? Don't be in such a way so that when you do find a good man, there's combat. It's not necessary. If you find a good man,
it's hard though. I think it's easier said than done.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I know it's easier said than done, but don't let it be so much so in the forefront that you potentially cause problems with somebody where there should be no problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just not necessary to me.
It's hard, yeah, but honestly, ladies, those men exist though.
They fully, of course, they exist.
No, 100%.
They do
They
exist.
100% do.
And it's
They
peace.
100%
Oh, it's
do.
so peaceful. It's beautiful scenes.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Honestly,
And does it make sense for
honestly.
you to
And
find
that's why
someone like
I want
that?
a Yoruba man, because I find it there.
Sorry, go on,
they're
go on,
not the
Chrissy.
most powerful. Thank you very much.
No.
Chrissy.
Oh, I've got a question. I've got a question for Chrissy.
But anyway,
So wait, Chrissy, 1 sec. Sorry, I've got a question for you. Would you?
Okay,
So
yeah, go on.
obviously you want a Yoruba man, yeah? Would you date a Yoruba man
Yes.
from back home?
funny enough, someone asked me this question actually yesterday, and my answer was a certain type.
Mm.
Wait, is this a Chrissy
So-
I know?
No, I don't think we know each other.
Okay. Sorry,
No.
go on.
No, it's a certain type of Yoruba man
Mm.
back home. So when I mean by that, like, I need him to be. I can't lie. I need him to be exposed. If he's not exposed,
Now, Chrissy,
it's
we
gonna
gotta
be
be
an issue
friends.
because-
You gotta message me after this. This is me to a
because
T.
I'm realistic in the fact that I'm Nigerian. Look, I'm Yoruba. I love my culture and everything.
Mhm.
But I also was born here.
Mhm.
So that needs to be accounted for, innit? So someone who's back home, I need him to also kind of be. I know it's bit bad to say, but kind of well traveled, just worldly in the sense that
Yeah.
he's gonna. So that kind of man, what's her name? I think it was. What's her name? That artist that came on the show.
Oh,
She
6.
said it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I was even gonna say 7. Hey, God,
Oh,
sorry,
dear.
but I knew it was a number.
I knew it was a number. That's fair.
Yeah. When she said it, like, there's a certain type. Like, I feel like there's a certain type, kind of thing. Because I think also even guys back home, I feel like they're still socialized for marriage. The guys
true.
here, I feel like they're not really socialized for marriage
At
right
all.
now.
Exactly. So you have to find a balance. You need to find a Nigerian somewhere in France.
I've got-
and
listen,
that's
I've got
the thing, so
criteria,
lie.
but I
would like
can't
to go
reveal
back
it.
home. I would like to go back home. And ideally, because I feel like it's still more socialized, even though I feel like the West has influenced Nigeria a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
In things now, I feel like they're getting a bit too away from their traditions, and it's getting a bit mad peak out there. However, I still think in the undercurrent, they still have that socialization, that family is the core, like husband and wife.
I've got a trick for
Like,
that
that's
for
the
guys here, yeah.
foundation.
But I can't give it up. When I find my husband, I'll.
But anyway,
message you, know.
I gotta go, guys. But thank
All right,
you.
lovely. Thank you for
Enjoying
calling
the
in.
show.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Thank you
bye.
very much.
Love you. Later. Bye.
All right. I think
This is a very good topic of the day, man.
Yes, man.
I'm very proud of us.
Shit, that's what I'm saying. When the Yorubas get together.
Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
but peace.
Is Yusuf also Yoruba?
Yeah.
He is actually.
He's with Yoruba.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Big up Joseph. You know what I mean?
You would never live that down. No, but that's been a great conversation. Thank you everyone who's been getting involved in the chat.
Yeah, man.
Stacey's like, you don't want me to have low blood pressure this week. Stressing her out.
Wait for that segment, baby.
Listen.
Goodbye.
All right, let's get into our next.
Okay, so the Tory peer, Michelle Mone, who we spoke about yesterday, is to request a leave of absence from the Lords to clear her name amid allegations she benefited from a company she recommended for a COVID contract. It means she will not be able to attend sittings of the House, vote on any proceedings, or be able to claim any allowance. Baroness Mone has been linked to PPE MedPro, which won government contracts during the pandemic. Her spokesman said the allegations had been unjustly levelled against her. It was the Baroness's decision to seek a leave of absence, her spokesperson said. Her request could be rejected by the Lord's authorities, but if it is approved, she does not have to register any changes to her financial interests. A House of Lords spokesman said a decision will be made once a formal request has been received. Baroness Mone, who joined the House of Lords in 2015, has not taken part in a vote since April this year and has not spoken in a debate since March of 2020. Labour's Deputy Leader Angela Rayner said Prime Minister Rishi Sunak was too weak to remove the whip from Baroness Mone, which would mean she was expelled from the parliamentary party and had left her to finally read the writing on the wall. Speaking in the House of Commons, Ms Rayner said the public needs answers about the government's shameful dealings with companies that receive contracts through the VIP fast-track procurement process during the pandemic. Releasing documents will be the first step in restoring faith, she added. Next headline. China says most people with COVID will now be able to quarantine at home rather than in state facilities in a major easing of its zero COVID policy. Those with mild or no symptoms can now stay at home and self-report results. The reforms come just after a week of civil protests against pandemic controls erupting across the nation. The country has also scrapped PCR test requirements for the most public venues except hospitals and schools. It's the strongest sign yet that China is moving away from its strict zero COVID policy and looking to live with the virus, as is the case elsewhere in the world. This comes as the country is seeing its biggest wave of infections, over 30,000 each day. Until now, China had forced COVID-infected people and anyone who was a close contact to go to quarantine camps. This policy has been deeply unpopular because it separated families and removed people from their homes. Videos all year have shown guards dragging people out of their homes, including viral footage from Hangzhou last week, which showed a man fighting off officials. And the last headline for this section is, it's a win for us, man. Hopefully, anyway. And a black teacher, she's won a discrimination case. So a black teacher has been awarded over £460,000 in a race discrimination case after she was stripped of her senior role and replaced by a less qualified and less experienced white colleague. Catherine Burton York was to relinquish her head of year post at Douay Martyrs Catholic Secondary School in Ickenham, London, where she had worked at for more than a decade. A tribunal heard that when the experienced teacher refused, the head teacher, Anthony Cornish, who needs to be done out here, put her and the school's 4 other head of years through a competitive selection process to secure their jobs. However, Mrs. Burton York, who is black Afro-Caribbean, was the only one who failed the process, and a less experienced and less qualified white staff member was later appointed into the role. The school later carried out calculated tactics to ruin its relationship with Mrs. Burton York, and she resigned. Now, however, she has won a staggering £462,973 after successfully suing the school for race discrimination, harassment, as well as unfair dismissal at an employment tribunal. There's a bit more to the story. Maybe I'll just put the story in the community.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she won.
That's sick, man.
Yes.
I love that. Payback time, slave trade.
There you go.
I absolutely love it. All right, let's get into some word on road. I've got 16 minutes. I think we're jinxing. My page is not loading up now. Give that a second. So basically, it's been confirmed by Nia Long's a rep from Nia Long's camp that she's split up with her Ime Udoka after 13 years together. Obviously, I reported as well on his cheating scandal, which was allegedly with a female worker in the Celtics organization. So she's come out. Basically, a source is basically saying that they're splitting up. However, they are cordial and they're trying to just focusing on co-parenting. Sorry guys, my page is not. Oh yeah. So she's basically just what they said is that she's focusing on her children and just kind of rebuilding her life and sorting all that stuff out. And earlier this month, actually, Nia actually criticized the organization. And she said, if you're in the business of protecting women, I'm sorry, no one from the Celtics organization even called to see if I'm okay, to see if my children are okay. It's very disappointing. I think the most heartbreaking thing about all of this was seeing my son's face. This is playing with me. Hold on. Sorry, yeah. I think the most heartbreaking thing about all of this was seeing my son's face when the Boston Celtics organization decided to make a very private situation public. It was devastating and it still is. He still has moments where it's not easy for him. I literally felt like my heart had jumped out of my body. And then what I found was this tribe of women and men who were standing up for me in a way that felt I was in a bubble of protection, and that was very comforting. Yeah, she spoke to because after the whole thing, everyone was like, Nia Long, like how could you do that to Nia Long? So I guess the love that she got from the public was really, really would have helped her in terms of. Yeah, I can't lie. I think it definitely is disappointing that ESPN and Celtics and whoever, all the organizations, you made something that's like a private family matter, made it public, and then you didn't even check on the people that affected the most. But yeah, so she decided they split up after 13 years of a relationship, and they got one son together. So see how that goes. And then in other news as well, cutting ties. Still on the subject of cutting ties, Nike have cut ties with Kyrie Irving. Yeah. So as you guys know, obviously the whole thing that he posted, all that stuff. So basically, Nike kind of suspended. So he's been working with Nike since 2014, and they suspended him after that whole thing happened. And post-suspension, which I can't lie, I think it's a bit weird. But post-suspension, they've now decided to cut ties with him, even though he's done everything that was given to him in that guideline sheet. And he's done on his apology tour. He's done everything to rectify. He's educated himself. He's done everything that he needed to do that was asked of him. So it's interesting that they've now cut ties with him. And basically, they're saying that. So a reporter basically said Kyrie Irving is no longer a Nike athlete. The sides have parted ways 1 month after Nike suspended its relationship with the Nets star. Irving has one of most popular signature shoes in the NBA and is now a sneaker-free agent. But then he posted after that, and people kind of saying it might be subliminals, where he basically posted a picture that says "Let the party begin." And then he also posted an image that had a caption saying, "There's nothing more priceless than being free." So I guess maybe it's one of those ones where, one of the ones where it's like, you get broken up with like, I didn't really like him that much anyway. Yeah, you did. Because you can't be saying you're happy you're broken free if you didn't want to be there in the first place.
But at the same time, it's because you realise who you was in contract with.
That's true. That's actually hindsight.
So it's like, I'm glad I'm not with these animals anymore.
That is true. That is a word.
Can I read something from a few tweets from him, yeah? Because I feel like this is a message to the people who support him, the black people, right? And he's like, anyone who has ever spent their hard-earned money on anything I have ever released, I consider you, in capital letters, family. And we are forever connected.
That's sweet.
Listen to what he says next. He says, it's time to show how powerful we are as a community. Okay. That is a message to black people. Let's end the talking. Let's start walking.
Do you know what
put
is
the
though?
money where it should go.
What I want though, I want him to do something then that follows on with this. Because what we always get sometimes is black celebs giving us speech about us doing for each other when they get let down by the Caucasian organizations and nothing follows that. Do you get what I mean? So I would like to see what comes from this that will actually promote that message.
I think something may come.
I hope so.
I really hope something does, and I think he may follow it up. It may not be in the same way, maybe with trainers or something, but I think something will come there. You know what I'm saying? Because again, he got himself into this mess because I think he cared about himself and he cares about the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for him to do this, but another thing, if you don't mind, that I wanted to add on to it, is remember how everyone was coming for Kyrie Irving, because of, as I say, just a link, right? Just a tweet, right? Recently, or a few days ago, Jerry Jones, right? Jerry Jones is an American businessman, right? He's the owner, president, and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, NFL, right? So he's one of the biggest known guys, right? This guy is like 80 years old now, right?
Yeah.
A picture leaked of him in 1957. You know what he's doing in 1957? I'm going to tell you what he's doing. So he's there with a bunch of other white people, bona fide racists, right? Who are blocking the entrance for 6 black students from getting into high school. So you know how you had the whole segregated South and segregation, this, that, and the third? He was one of those people.
Okay.
Who was pushing for, let's not have these white people. Let's not have these black people here. He was one of them. He now owns the NFL. When Kaepernick, who's part of the NFL, was taking the knee and all them type of situations there, he never came out and spoke. I never asked him to. I wasn't on TDA. But
you were on Twitter though. I wonder what you said about that. She would have them receipts anymore, Brent.
Hey.
Got it deleted.
Hey, I would have showed you. Hey, on Twitter, you know I got blocked. Anyway, that's another story.
Of course you did. I'm not surprised by that.
I've been blocked by 2 people on Twitter, you know. I'll come back to this story.
Oh, blocked? I thought you meant your account was suspended.
No.
Oh, no, being blocked, that's a lie. I've got like over 1,000 people blocked.
Oh, is it?
I block people from
have you been blocked though?
Oh yeah, some people block me. Well, that's their business. I don't know why they block. I talk about Jesus a lot.
Do you know the first person I realized I was blocked by? And I don't know why. Because literally the only thing I would have said about this person is positive things. Wiley. Brent, you know how funny this is?
Wiley blocked you?
Yes.
What were you saying?
I don't know.
Are you sure it's real Wiley? Because you know he's a council cop.
For real. No, but this is years ago.
Do you know, it's always funny when you're blocked by a celebrity because, like, what did I do to you?
That's what I'm saying. And I like Wiley a lot.
I think I'm blocked by one of the Real Housewives. But she's a bitch anyway. She's a bitch ass.
And the other person I was blocked by Vlad TV.
That makes
What
sense.
did you do?
That makes sense, though. That's an accolade, to be honest.
Thank you, man.
A badge of honor.
Thank you,
Well
man.
done.
I'm
badge of
happy.
honor.
I'm happy about that because he was doing some false news about the minister, and I said, no, you ain't gonna talk about Minister Farrakhan like this.
Oh dear.
You ain't gonna do this.
I thought you meant the Prime Minister. I said, well, damn, this is
No, the
fight you're
Prime
fighting.
Minister, right? He's okay. I don't care about him. But yeah, he was talking reckless, lying about the minister.
Oh, that's
Lying.
why you got blocked then.
And I
But
said, no,
that's a
you
good
can't be
thing.
doing them things there, man.
Yeah, I've got 8 minutes.
Okay, so so anyway, back to this, yeah. So during that whole type of thing there, this man wasn't coming out to talk about black people, we need to do this. Basically, he didn't do anything to kind of show there's a change of heart.
Okay.
From the same guy who was actively, not in his house being racist, actively at these places blocking black students from getting into high school, from getting an education. Now he owns a big NFL so-and-so and he's treating us like slaves, effectively. That's how I see it, right?
Yeah.
And now, LeBron spoke the other day talking about, like, I think there was a game or something. They asked him bare questions. And at the end of it, when they wrapped up, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said, I'm really disappointed at you guys. None of you asked me anything about Jerry Jones. I believe that's his name.
Okay.
None of you asked me anything about him. When Kyrie got into his situation,
That's what LeBron said.
this is what LeBron said.
Yeah.
Every Tom, Dick, and Harry and their dog came up, lined up
Their
here.
dog. But you know that's what they do. Like they want black people to. They want you to be against. They want that token good black. This
is it.
that will side with them, and they can be like, see,
Yes.
even LeBron
There you go.
is
There
on
you
our
go.
side there.
They
But
didn't even ask him, how do you feel about this? What's
But
your
you know what, though?
opinions on this?
that's how black people need to. You need to recognize when it is that you're being used as a token.
Big facts.
And not many people realize that.
Big facts.
That's a damn shame.
100%. And so he just said, you know what? I don't need the questions now. I'm just highlighting to you that I noticed.
Yeah.
Because you people are disgusting. It shows. And this is, again, he was quoting Kyrie. He said, this is what Kyrie was talking about when he was saying, show the same energy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is why, one of the reasons why I supported Kyrie like this, because I know it's hypocritical. None of them white people care about black lives.
Yeah, they don't.
None. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, he showed you he's a racist. I even listened to one short interview or whatever,
Yeah.
just a little audio clip of them asking Jerry Jones what he felt about LeBron. All he said about the situation was, oh, you know, LeBron, this thing, nothing changes here. I still have respect for LeBron. I believe he's somebody who's gone through hardships and stuff. He's come out on top, this, that, and the third. Hasn't addressed his racism. Hasn't addressed the fact that he was there.
Yeah.
Hasn't said, guys, I know what it looks like. And you know what? Fair enough, it was that. But I'm not that way anymore. He's not said anything. You know why? Because black people, unfortunately, I'm going to put it on us a bit. We ain't come up with our version.
Bits.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, personally, again, in due time, people, I'm going to start the AAC.
What is it?
The Anti-Afrophobic Committee.
Did this happen when I was away?
It's happening right now. That's what's happening. You see what I'm saying? We're going to have Marks in there shooting guys. We're going to have...
He's getting cooked on TikTok now.
Big up,
Marx
Marks.
has got other bastards.
He's getting cooked up on TikTok.
And I mean that metaphorically, guys. You know.
Yeah, you
You know
know.
what I'm saying? I'm going to even get Kalechi involved because we need that. We need that type of power. No, because you get what I'm trying to say. Like, people really just take advantage of black people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when it's on the other foot, they don't care.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So black people, please understand you don't care to them. Never will. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
That's jokes. All right, okay. In more positive news,
You're cutting it close, you know.
Brent. In more positive, I'm speeding through this out. Y'all can Google this shit. I got a lot on my heart this morning. All right, more positive news. So basically, Metro Boomin has launched a Single Mums Are Superheroes campaign. And he's had it going for a while. Obviously, he was raised by a single mom and she passed away. And he's had this thing where he provides for them and all that kind of stuff. And he's basically teamed up with Steve and Majorie Harvey, their foundation, to do that. So I think over the weekend, they took them to like a few games. And yeah, they took like 26 single mothers and their kids to a football game, the Atlanta Falcons game. And basically they said, Steve and Marjorie, their foundation says that our mission is to ensure the needs of the whole family are met, and we know that the most important part of the nucleus is the mum. And apparently what they've done so far, they've helped 150 parents attend, the retreat. And there was one mum as well who won that $25,000 scholarship. I just thought it was very positive to report, because I like when people use their platforms to do good and to like bless people that they can. And it's nice to see someone doing something outside of like the usual times of the year that people think is the only time to do kindness. It's nice to do kindness all throughout the year. But yeah, so big up Metro Boomin, big up the Harveys. It's all sick, it's all good. And also my last bit of news, takes to the UK, and is Black Excellence. Mo Gilligan has a new show with the BBC. They can't get rid of this man, even though they tried. And the show is called This Is My Jam, and it starts on the 17th of December. So you guys check it out, support it. I know I saw like a bunch of celebrities that were making appearances on there and all that great stuff. So yeah, big up Mo Gilligan, always winning and always doing what he needs to do, which is amazing. But yeah, that is all there is for me today. Let's get into the People's Journal.
All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. So the first thing I want to talk about, something I spoke about on the show quite a few times, and this is about the whole 4-day week that everyone I know is looking forward to, yeah, except on TDA, because we will not be doing that, right?
I'm going to. We're having a 4-day week next week. You're not even know it. It starts next week.
Yes. So basically, remember before I was talking about how certain firms are actually trialing it out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, a lot of them are basically keeping it. Yeah, man. So basically, you're going to get 100% of your pay that you would get for 5 days. You're just going to work 4 of those days.
But then you do 100% hours in those 4 days. So you're working longer hours in 4.
No. Really? No. It's just 100% for 8% of the time. Yeah.
I need to find them companies. That's sick.
Yep. Exactly. So basically, based on this article's held as well, this particular guy who basically heard about this particular scheme, he was kind of skeptical. He didn't believe it, right? Obviously, he doesn't listen to TDA. So, you know what I'm saying? Because he would have known about the trial taking place. But either way, this guy was offered a chance to earn his full salary by working just 4 days a week, right? He didn't fully believe it, but he thought, you know what, I'm so used to working 5 days. However, this, that, and the third, I'm going to give this a try. After all, what have I got to lose? But yeah, during this whole 6 months trial, 3,000 people worked fewer hours for the 100% of the pay. And what they found is that their productivity improved.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how this works, but again, maybe people just come into work more chirpy, more excited, more, you know what I'm saying? I'm not too sure. But maybe the dreaded, I'm going to be here for 5 days, or I can't wait till it's Friday, and that whole type of thing is just eliminated from the entire process. Yeah. And so people's whole demeanor and everything just changes. But either way, just looking at the stats, I like to talk about stats. It's literally, it just works. It just works. And again, this particular article mentions it's not about cramming 5 days work into 4 like you asked. Yeah. In fact, workers are earning 100% of their salary for just 8% of the hours. So it's literally 9 to 5 just for 4 days, for example. And the aim is to be more productive. And according to these trials, it works.
Yeah, everyone needs to roll that out, mate.
It works, man. Yeah, so basically what they're saying is at the halfway point in September, so remember it's been 6 months since they tried it, at the halfway point after 3 months, 86% of the companies taking part said that the 4-day week was working well and they are likely to keep it. And this is the thing, man. When you incentivize people, like I always say, incentivize people, they will work better, man, because there's something to gain. They can see it tangibly there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine, like, yeah, there's not much more to say about it, to be fair. So yeah, hopefully, especially if it's working. At the end of the day, I personally, I'm all about whatever works. If it works better, let's adopt the better thing. You know what I'm saying? So if this is working, I think it'll be good if this trickles down into every workplace, man. So we can get, the most out of people. And also everybody can also have more time with their families, man. And just enjoy life. The next headline is to do with the weather. And basically, because of the weather, that's how it affects the economics, is that people are urged to heat the main room and basically chill in the main room. Because it's too much money. No, I'm joking. Basically, what they're saying is, heat the living rooms up during the day and the bedrooms and stuff before going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously it's mad cold out there. And obviously, if you just have it, obviously people got timers and stuff like this, innit?
Yeah.
But there's a tendency to kind of, especially during the night, to maybe leave certain things on and you're going to be spending a lot more money. The reverse is kind of the case in the summer as well. When everyone was hot, you leave your fan on and everything like that. Before you know it, your bills is going up like crazy, you know what I'm saying? All because we're trying to adjust to the climate that we're in. So yeah.
Keep your eyes on the time.
Brent, I'm already I'm waiting. It's loading.
I'm also talking about Emmanuel and me leaving.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So yeah, health officials basically issued the advice to people who cannot heat every room or are struggling with heating costs, that those are the essential places. You know what I'm saying? Again, we like to try and give some practical things here. So yeah, man, for those people who are kind of affected in that particular way, so especially those who, you know, are more affluent in the chat, you've got big houses and whatnot, just twist a finger on your radiators so that you're not warming up rooms that you're not actually in. You know what I'm saying? Save some money, man. And yeah, just do the essentials. Also, some positive news from the continent, man. And in the beautiful country of Tanzania, right? Basically, what's happened is hundreds of children with special needs in Tanzania are set to enroll in boarding schools, right? After the government, and this is where I have to give them their props, they reallocated money that was meant for Independence Day celebrations to build the dormitories for these kids who, you know, have special needs and stuff like this.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So almost $500,000, $445,000 was set aside for Friday's 61st Independence Day festivities and stuff, right? But now that money's going to be spent on improving schools. And of course, it sounds like a small thing or whatever, but African nations, man, I don't think most of them, especially Nigeria, wouldn't do this. They definitely wouldn't do this, you know what I'm saying? So, again, we've got to give flowers, man. And we've got to praise those who are actually doing good jobs, especially when those jobs are making a difference in the lives of our children, man. So, yeah, the president, Samia Suluhu, said that the dormitories will be built in 8 rural special needs schools to help many of the learners there, you know what I'm saying? Some of them who walk daily between like 3 to 5 miles every day they walk just to attend classes. You know what I'm saying? So obviously they've already got special needs, they've already got certain struggles and obstacles that they have to, you know, get over. It makes sense for us to build these dormitories rather than celebrating independence. 61 years. We've done it 61 times. So let's do something for the people, right? So yeah, man. Long story short, the government said that the move was aimed at improving the learning environment for children with special needs. And that's it for the People's Journal.
All right, nice. Well, it's Wellness Wednesday over here. Let's get into it.
I thought you had a voice not to click on.
All right, so before Brent plays the beautiful melodic tunes for Wellness Wednesday.
You're not going to make system with Wellness Wednesday. People's minds need to be completely clear.
Okay,
We don't want to rattle Stacey in this part, please. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
Stacey.
let's give some good vibes to Stacey, man.
That's true, man.
She's had a hard week with us.
We are considerate, Stacey.
Exactly.
All right, so the 3 quotes today come from 3 pivotal people who made huge contributions to Black empowerment. And the first is a little less complaint and whining and a little more dogged work and manly striving will do us more credit than 1,000 civil rights bills. A little less complaint and whining and a little more work and manly striving will do us more credit than 1,000 civil rights bills. And that's by W.B. Du Bois. Second, the world cares very little about what you or I know, but it does care a great deal about what you or I do. The world cares very little about what you or I know, but it does care a great deal about what you or I do. And that's from the great Booker T. Washington. And the last quote is, if we as a people realize the greatness from which we came, we will be less likely to disrespect ourselves. You can apply that to all things. Innit? If we as a people realize the greatness from which we came, we will be less likely to disrespect ourselves. And that's from the great, honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. And yeah, man, that's it for On This Wednesday.
Thank you very much. All right, let's get into our last headlines for today.
So before we start the headlines, I think it would be good to hear from one of our correspondents from the Cayman Islands. And he decided to send in a voice note, you know what I'm saying, to add a bit of paint where there ain't, and basically, to add to the
Paint where there ain't.
and add to the conversation. So we're just going to play that quickly.
Hi, good morning, guys. Hope you're well. My name's KJ, London boy, living in the Cayman Islands. So I actually listen to you guys while I'm roaming around doing my thing. Unfortunately, I can't call in the morning, but I was just listening to your Deion Sanders topic, and I understand that not all the research can be done, but I do feel like a lot there needs to be more research. I will need you guys to go and watch the 60 Minutes YouTube documentary on Deion Sanders and JSU. It's only 6 minutes long, but just FYI, just JSU getting that look is a big deal. That's the kind of eyes Deion Sanders brought to the school. In the documentary, it shows that Deion Sanders had to bathe himself in the pool because Jackson State didn't have water at the time. The money that came out of his salary, the half of the money, he put back into the school to help build the field, to help build the practice field, to help build the stadium, etc., etc. Because when he went there was a dump. You'll see it in the 6 minute documentary. I really need people to go and watch it, yeah? Also, he has given a recommendation of who he wants to take over. It's one of the existing coaches, and he said he wants to keep it in-house. Now, all of these looks, from them getting a 60-minute documentary to them being on College Football Today on a Saturday, which is a big business, by the way. It's a lot of eyes, a lot of money, it's a lot of advertising. Jackson State would not have got this opportunity if it wasn't for prime time, yeah? Prime time is a big deal. His name is Prime Time. He's Prime Time for a reason. He played for 5 teams in the NFL. He played Major League Baseball. He's a big deal. And what JSU were paying him was tuppence to what he's deserving. Yeah? It's not about selling out. It's about going to the next level for him. And he's explained all of this. And the first people he explained it to was actually Jackson State team. There's a video on YouTube again of him explaining it to the team first, before he went to the press. And he's explained all of this. It's just that we need to go and do our research. This sellout word gets thrown around a lot. This sellout phrase, sorry, gets thrown around a lot because somebody moves from bigger and better things. Do you know what I'm saying? We praise people like Virgil Abloh who go to Louis Vuitton and they become the first black creative director. But we need people like Primetime to make that step and show that not only are black coaches, which is very rare in the NFL, and Primetime is very clear that it's like something crazy like 8% of the NFL. I'm so sorry, 80% of the NFL is black, but there's only X amount of coaches in the NFL and in college football are leading the way. He needs to be the one to go and lead the way. Do you know what I'm saying? He needs to be put his neck out there. And unfortunately, he's going to get labelled as a sellout because he's not JSU anymore. But unfortunately, they couldn't provide for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, one negative I will give, and I'm sorry this voice note's so long. One negative I will give is that he took big players away from the team. Because obviously, again, JSU can't support them. Now, that I think is quite negative because it does take away from the team, but he has laid a foundation. He set up the practice field. He set up the recovery pools, etc., from his own money. He's done more than what a lot of black people who waffle, I'm not referring to you guys because you guys are doing a lot for the community just by doing this, but a lot of black people waffle and say, we should be doing this and we should be doing that, which is the majority of black people has done. He's done way more. That's what I want to say. God bless you lot, and thank you for all the entertainment and the news as well. You guys keep me sane. Love.
Yeah, man. Just wanted to play that. That's all really. But also, big up, Brent, what's the name of the person who you sent in?
His name is something. Hold up, let me put it back on.
Oh, his name is something.
Hi, good morning, guys. Hope you're well. My name's KJ.
KJ.
London boy, living in Cayman.
There you go.
All right, so yeah, just big up KJ, man, for just adding a bit more information to the entire thing. Hopefully, again, information is what matters, isn't it? So hopefully people can listen to what he said, go and look at the documentary, the 60 Minutes interview and everything, and actually see everything that KJ is talking about in it, so that we can be, better informed in our position and whatnot. But yeah, let's get on to the headlines. So the first thing takes us to Nigeria, and Esther spoke about this gentleman earlier in Topic of the Day. So, anger and disappointment is how many Nigerians are feeling after a presidential candidate had a rare media engagement during their appearance at Chatham House, a UK-based think tank, on Monday. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right, or some call Tinubu, is a two-time governor of Lagos State who is running for the governing All Progressives Congress, the APC, in February's polls. And he basically avoided the Nigerian media since winning the party's ticket, right? He has also shunned presidential debates and town hall meetings with other candidates in the lead up to the elections. As a result, many who had tuned in to the heavily publicized appearance in London had high hopes of hearing Mr. Tinubu answer key policy questions. Questions like, how would he deal with widespread insecurity in Nigeria? How would he solve the country's huge unemployment rate? How would he stop oil theft in the Niger Delta? Legitimate questions, right? Thankfully, these questions were asked by journalists inside the packed hall, but many were stunned as Mr. Tinubu elected aides to respond on his behalf. So he's in front of them, by the way, people, yeah? You can see the interview. And he's chosen other people to answer the questions for him, right? Which is obviously a departure from the norm at the Institute, popular with those who are seeking elective offices in Nigeria. So a spokesperson for the candidate of the main opposition, PDP, described it as an abdication of responsibility, while many others said it confirmed Mr. Tinubu's lack of physical and mental rigor to lead Africa's most populous country. Dele Alake, who's the media advisor who answered the question on behalf of Tinubu at this event, said that those criticizing Mr. Tinubu are ignorant of the nuance and dynamics of leadership. This is absolute bollocks that he's talking. Sorry, let me just say the news. Right, so the APC candidate did take some questions, though. He did take some questions, speaking publicly for the first time on controversy surrounding his age and work profile. He confirmed that he's 70 years old and he was born March 1952. Like, it sounds so trivial, but it's because this has been something going on in Nigeria where people are doubting his age and just doubting his entire upbringing and his background. He also confirmed that he schooled at Chicago State University and later worked for financial consultancy firm Deloitte as well. Both facts, again, have been greatly disputed in the past. So he's one of the 3 frontrunners seeking to lead Nigeria next year. So the elections are going to be in February. If you're looking to go to Nigeria, I advise don't go during February. And hopefully the country can pick something that makes sense. Somebody, I should say. The next headline takes us to America. And the former US President Donald Trump's family real estate company has been found guilty of tax crimes. So the Trump organization was convicted on all counts on Tuesday after 2 days of jury deliberations in New York. The business is synonymous with the former president, but neither Mr. Trump nor his family members were personally on trial. Vowing to appeal the verdict, Mr. Trump said he was disappointed and again described the case as a witch hunt. The company was convicted of enriching its top executives with off-the-books benefits for more than a decade. Untaxed perks included luxury cars and private school fees, prosecutors said, which made up for lower salaries and therefore reduced the amount of tax the business was required to pay. The company is expected to face a fine of around $1.6 million and may also face difficulty in securing loans and financing in the future. Mr. Trump previously criticized the trial as being politically motivated. He also attacked his long-serving former chief financial executive, Alan Weisselberg, after he pleaded guilty in August and testified against the business. In his most recent statement attacking the verdict, the former leader, Donald Trump, asked why the Trump organization should be prosecuted for Mr. Weisselberg's personal conduct, accusing him of committing tax fraud on his personal tax returns. Mr. Trump said in a statement issued by his office that there was a reliance by us on a then highly respected and expensive accounting firm, the law firm, to do this work. This case is unprecedented and is a continuation of the greatest political witch hunt in the history of our country, he added, adding that New York City was now a hard place to be a Trump. And the last headline is about just oil protesters again. So 2 climate protesters have been ordered to compensate the National Gallery after they were found guilty of causing more than £1,000 of damage to the Hay Win, probably John Constable's best-known painting. So in July, Just Stop Oil supporters Hannah Hunt, who's 23, and Eben Lazarus, who's 22, taped printed posters on a dystopian reimagining of the landscape over its canvas before gluing their hands to its frame. Hunt said at the time that you can forget our green and pleasant land when further oil extraction will lead to widespread crop failures, which means we'll be fighting for food. On Tuesday, each were convicted of causing criminal damage by a district judge at Westminster Magistrates Court. Hunt and Lazarus had denied the charge, arguing that Articles 10 and 11 under European Convention of Human Rights, the right to freedom of expression and of assembly, gave them lawful excuse for their actions. But a district judge, Daniel Sternberg, rejected their defense, saying that the damage they caused was significant, not trivial, and that the defendants were reckless and caused it without lawful excuse. He handed each of them an 18-month conditional discharge and ordered that they pay the National Gallery £540.74, each in compensation, totaling the cost of the damage. Sternberg said that if they committed any further offences within that time frame of 18 months, they were liable to have the matter reopened and the court could send them to prison. And that's the end of the headlines.
Okay, keep your mind on the time, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm so happy.
You got it.
I got it.
That's what I'm talking
That's right.
about.
Black excellence.
I'm so happy. You don't understand. I am seeing Chris Brown on Valentine's Day. Now, I'm so happy.
Esther's Valentine's going to be Chris Brown.
Listen, I ain't never had a Valentine, and look at this. It's Chris Brown, my first one. Will God do it? I'm so happy. I'm filled with joy. Where segment are we on? What's next?
The reaction.
At least she was not here. I was so nervous. All right, let's get into the reaction.
All right, guys, welcome to the reaction. There isn't much to talk about, really. So I'll be very quick. Yesterday's games, Morocco versus Spain. I was going to hate on Morocco for the sole purpose of the fact that one of my friends is Moroccan and he wanted me to big up Morocco. So I was going to hate.
Not the fact that the black people in Morocco.
No. There's loads of Arabs there, innit?
Okay.
Yeah. And
Right.
a lot of them are doing us black people bad. But anyway, my friend is a good guy. But because he was like, yo, make sure you don't hate on Morocco, I was going to leave them out. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Morocco, sick, man. They did well, man. They represent Africa well.
Yeah.
They beat Spain on penalties. Nobody would have predicted this. You know what I'm saying? Spain lost all their penalties, or missed all their penalties, pardon me. And yeah, Morocco scored this, man. So they're through to the quarterfinals.
That's
they
sick,
knocked
man.
out Spain.
That's sick.
So yeah, that's excellence right there, man. Big up Morocco. 100%.
You used to say something about this yesterday.
I think so.
Anything that used to
but
cause
I'm-
the opposite happens.
Do the opposite, man.
I need him to call me broke and I win the lottery.
And in the other game, Portugal, yeah, they killed Switzerland, man, unfortunately.
6-1.
6-1, man. 6-1. Yeah.
Yikes.
I kind of knew, I think everyone kind of predicted Portugal winning. But when I saw some black people in the Switzerland team, I was like, yo, I need to support these guys, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, unfortunately, they couldn't get the job done. But yeah, man, 6-1. Portugal did a hell of a performance there, man. So yeah, but it's going to be Portugal versus Morocco in the next round. So
Okay.
hopefully Morocco, man, do your magic. Whatever you're doing now,
They
or
need
did
to.
before, do it again, please. Knock these Portuguese people out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Apparently, Moroccans are mainly Berber.
Yeah. Berber Arabs.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Oh, because somebody said,
I said they're black.
lol, Moroccans are mainly Berber, not Arab. Get it right, Mr. Africa.
I'm
Well,
right.
damn.
Though. I'm right though.
You said I'm right there.
No, I'm right. if you want to go into the like semantics of it, then okay, fine.
Speaking a dialect of Arab and being Arab are two different things.
Well, pardon me from my perspective. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's keep it moving.
Right, let's get no done out here because the man who's done out here
He's done out
he's
here.
the one who's done out here today. So let's get into the outro.
All right.
All right, guys, it doesn't get better than this because I'm sure seeing this smile on my face should put a smile on your face. And if it doesn't, I don't really care. I'm seeing Chris Brown on Valentine's Day. But thank you guys. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate everyone who calls in and also leaves comments on the lives, all that great stuff. Shout out my resident, what's the word? Whatever word, English word it is, co-host, Christy, for being here with me today and calling
Big up,
in.
Christy.
We appreciate you, sis. And yeah, follow us on all our social media platforms, The Day After TNB. Comment, share, like. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Where apparently somebody got So he's hive. Y'all might want to go and rescue him a little bit.
Yeah, because he's getting washed.
The comments probably like what 600 now.
Yeah, more than that,
Yeah, guys, over in yesterday's show, a clip, somebody's comments is over 600 on TikTok. The Killies, y'all might want to go over there and I don't know what you can do. I can't lie to you. They might get you out there, but try and do something in it. So yeah, if you want to send voice notes in or text in, the number is 075 6484 1073. Also the number to call when we're live on air. Join the community as well, community.thenewblack.com. I'm seeing people are putting some really nice stuff in there. So something about business. I think it's Temi's business. So big up Temi. Yeah, so check out the community. There's so much useful information up there. And if you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, you can email the team the day after at thenewblack.com. Have a great
Before we go,
Wednesday.
Before we go, please.
Yeah.
Stacey said something, but I liked it. it was a nice job. So I respect it, Stacey. She said, we pardon you for your perspective every day, man.
Do what?
She said, we pardon you for your perspective every day, man.
Okay.
Because of what I said about the whole Berber Arab thing.
Okay.
Also, somebody in the chat, Demi, came to my defense. He said, a lot of Moroccans identify as Arab, just like my friend does. So please, Kelly, I know what I'm talking about. You know, obviously I was generalizing, you know what I'm saying? But I know what I'm talking about. And again, from the perspective of sub-Saharan or Black Africa, You know what I'm saying? We know who the oppressors are. Thank you very much. So,
How was someone asking at the end of the show, A Mark's here? Have you heard this man speak the whole day?
I think they felt his spirit, man.
Yeah, they must have felt something.
Mm-hmm.
Must have felt something. But no, big up the brothers. I'm sure they'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
Hopefully anyway. And yeah, guys, we will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday.
Peace.